sacred red rock, also known as Ayers Rock. They came there today to climb it one last time. Beginning tomorrow, the rock will be off limits to climbing to comply with the wishes of the Aboriginal people in the area. The rock has been on a list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites since 1987. In a recent year, 300,000 people visited the rock. Skies are mostly cloudy at 65 degrees. We're heading down to 53. And it looks like we'll be okay tomorrow, but rain comes in on Sunday. Winds near side 326. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 10 winds. Here's Larry Kowski. Buyers are trickling back into the market in the final hour, bringing prices back toward their earlier highs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 174. The S&P 500 is up 13. The Nasdaq Composite gaining 54. Amazon.com is down 1.5%. Investors were jolted when the company posted its first quarterly earnings decline in over 2 years. Gene Munster at Loop Ventures isn't as hot as Amazon shares as he once was.
Historically, we've thought just own this at any price, but I think we're starting to get to a point where the upside is muted versus other companies.
Amazon says it spent more than expected during the third quarter to ramp up one-day delivery. Bolder comments made at an industry conference this month by Fisher Investments founder Ken Fisher continue to cost the firm dearly. The Texas State Pension Fund has pulled $350 million from the firm, bringing the total to over $3 billion. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Kowski for 10 Wins. Now this message, Morristown Medical Center, the #1 hospital in New Jersey once again, according to U.S. News and World Report. From the station that brought you, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We've done it again. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. The northern states, the southern states, and the LIE. We are your one and only true traffic station, 10 Wins.
Your home needs replacement windows, and I told you there was a window material that lasts longer and performs better. You want to hear about it, right? I'm Patricia McCann with Larry Landis, the local owner of Renewal by Andersen Replacement Windows.
You know, Patricia, I've been in home improvement for over 30 years, and I can't tell you how important the window material is. My best piece of advice is don't buy a low-end vinyl window. And you don't have to, because our window material is 2 times stronger than vinyl.
You know, there's nothing worse than being uncomfortable in your own home. But your window can help fix that problem, right?
Absolutely. We do it every day. And we're also the window company that you can trust, that you know will be around if you ever need us, because we're the replacement window division of Andersen.
I don't think there's a more trusted window company. So it sounds like if you need windows, this is the best time to call.
Yes, it is. Right now with our instant product rewards, save 20% on windows and patio doors, and your installation is included. And then with our financing, you won't pay anything for a year.
That's a very good deal, Larry. Save 20% on windows and patio doors, and your installation is included. And with their financing, don't pay anything for a year. For a free Renewal by Andersen brochure or window diagnosis, call 1-800-514-3600. 1-800-514-3600. That's 1-800-514-3600.
Offer not available in all areas. Conditions and restrictions apply. Call for license information.
So this is happening. Me in my office on Monday. Project hanging over my head like an anvil. The new guy Rick shows up.
Been thinking about your problem there, boss. The answer's Upwork.
I'm not sure about Rick, but now I'm on Upwork and I'm seeing all the freelance help I need. Creative directors, designers, PMs, all available now. Then I see something even better. Project delivered. With Upwork, this is happening.
People call me R-Dog.
Yeah, that's not happening, Rick.
With Upwork, hire freelancers and make things happen.
Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can recommend tailored security solutions, including computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, and more. Call an advisor today, 877-BUY-DELL.
AccuWeather says partly to mostly cloudy, a low tonight 53, 40s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, intervals of sun and clouds, high 63, rain on Sunday. Good afternoon, I'm Larry Cantor. Winds News Time at the tone, 3:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Richard. A member of the New York City Police Department shot another man outside his home in Seaford, Long Island. traffic and AccuWeather. Winds news time 3:31. From the Ram Trucks Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
Well, some Wazers tell us about a wreck on the eastbound side of the BQE getting up towards the area of the Kosciuszko Bridge. The jam cam shows us a mess all the way on back towards Flushing Avenue at this hour. On the westbound BQE, that is bad too, from Queens Boulevard all the way on out towards the area of Tillery Street. On this Friday afternoon, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. A lot. The inbound George, they got a pretty good ride to the upper and lower. There's no good way to do this thing. The west side's just the least bad, and that's pretty much by default. Lincoln, 30 to 45 on the inbound ride. Outbound too, the worst of it outbound is off of that 11th Avenue approach. Inbound side of the Holland, we're looking at about 20 minutes off of the Skyway, a little better from the Turnpike right now. The ride at the outbound side of the Holland, we're looking at least 45 out of lower Manhattan. The ride on the Brooklyn Bridge, Brooklyn bound, all sorts of bad. Traffic is sponsored by Plaza Jewish Community Chapel. I'm Greg Rice. Next report at 3:41 on 1010 Wins.
We at Plaza Jewish Community Chapel would like to remind you that candle lighting is at 5:43 this evening. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Samuel.
We're looking at pretty nice weather out there, more in the way of cloud cover than we've had lately, but still not bad, with a high in the mid-60s this afternoon. We'll cool off into the lower 50s tonight. Will be a comfortable night to be out and about. Certainly no rain expected. Tomorrow dry as well. We'll see clouds and some sun for your Saturday, the high 63. A little bit of light rain tomorrow night, but the bulk of our storm comes Sunday, unfortunately, here today. Likely a washout with a high of 66. On Monday, it's partly sunny with a high of 58. We're 65 right now. It's partly sunny at Central Park and going down to 53 in Midtown. AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Samuel on the Eagles Weather Station. 10 Wins.
They say life's a beach, but with a $130 million Powerball jackpot win, life could be more like a private beach. In Fiji, that belongs to you. So take a chance on Powerball. After all, anything can happen in Jersey.
Winds news time 3:33. The Trump Organization is thinking about unloading its controversial hotel in D.C.
President Trump has long defended his ownership of the Washington Hotel and the old post office building that bears his name, despite lawsuits that question the propriety, even the constitutionality of the president profiting from the stays of lobbyists and diplomats. Now the Trump Organization is exploring a sale. In the statement, Eric Trump told ABC News, people are objecting to us making so much money on the hotel, and therefore we may be willing to sell. Campaign finance reports show various Republican and conservative groups have spent at least $2.5 million at the hotel since President Trump's victory.
Correspondent Aaron Katursky. There is word John Bolton could be headed to Capitol Hill. The New York Times was first to report that lawyers for the former National Security Advisor are in talks with the three House committees leading the impeachment inquiry about a possible deposition. Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat to Ukraine, testified this week that Bolton had expressed concern about the phone call between President Trump and the Ukrainian president that sparked the impeachment probe. Mayor de Blasio today announced the kickoff of early voting in New York for the first time. He says he'll vote tomorrow, and he urges all New Yorkers not to wait until the November 5th election day, but vote early and make your voice heard. Early voting runs from tomorrow through Sunday, November 3rd. Board of Elections Executive Director Michael Ryan tells 1010 Wins 33 public schools have been designated as early voting locations.
The Board of Elections doesn't have one single building that is dedicated to be a poll site. We have to use buildings that are there for other reasons. So there aren't really a lot of options, and it's a neighborhood by neighborhood, borough by borough decision-making process.
Well, to find a site near you, you can call 311 or go online to voting.nyc. The brutal beating of a teenager on a city bus is under investigation on Staten Island. The family of the 15-year-old says she has just gotten off an S59 bus on her way home from school Monday afternoon when a group of teens who had been harassing her on board the bus attacked her. They say she's now in a neck brace and has one eye that's swollen shut along with other bruises. Police say at least one of the girl's attackers is under arrest and has been charged as a minor with assault. Anika Yukatis is apologizing for her controversial tour of New York City. This is a German porn star who found herself at the center of a barrage of criticism after posting photos of herself on social media in front of the 9/11 memorial while getting a special tour of NYPD headquarters as well. In apologizing, though, she said that NYPD Deputy Inspector Anthony Raganella was not aware of her career in pornography before inviting her to headquarters. So far, no comment from him. Sources tell the Daily News that other NYPD officials believe she was a real estate broker with ties to law enforcement. 65 degrees now, fair skies, the humidity 56%, the winds are southwest at 8, gusting to 16 miles per hour, 65 going down to 53 in Central Park. Winds News Time 30:36. The waiting game is over for Kanye West fans. 1010 Winds Entertainment next.
Visit Tourneau for the widest selection of luxury watches, featuring a vast collection of styles from nearly 40 brands. Tourneau, now located at 601 Madison Avenue, 510 Madison Avenue, 3 Bryant Park, Walt Whitman Mall, Roosevelt Field Mall, and the Westchester. For a limited time only, 30-month special financing available. Some restrictions apply. Visit your nearest Tourneau store or tourneau.com for more details.
Neurological conditions are life-changing.
Like a stroke, Parkinson's disease, concussions, or spine problems.
And they don't just affect the person.
They impact everyone around them.
When dealing with complex issues of the brain and spinal cord, count on the region's leading neurosciences program at Hackensack Meridian Health, where you'll find more options, more breakthroughs, more hope. Like deep brain stimulation for Parkinson's and the latest advances for epilepsy and movement disorders. Nationally recognized centers of excellence for ALS, MS, and stroke. Surgical advances to treat brain tumors and aneurysms with greater precision. Minimally invasive procedures for back and spine issues. And better therapies to deal with migraines, sleep disorders, hereditary neuropathies, and more.
All so you can keep your life moving forward.
Hope is here. Simply visit hmhbrain.com. Hackensack Meridian Health. Life years ahead.
Winds News Time 3:38. In 1010 Winds Entertainment, after a number of false alarms, Jesus is King has finally arrived. The long-delayed new album from Kanye West was released at noon today, just hours after he thanked his fans for their loyalty and patience. The album had an original release date of September 27th of last year and was most recently due at midnight last night. When no album dropped, West tweeted that he was still working on some mixes and promised not to sleep until the album was out. Pentatonix is out with a new Christmas album that features the late Whitney Houston. The a cappella group's version of Do You Hear What I Hear includes this well-known Houston version of the song, with Whitney doing the lead vocals on this remix. It's part of the Best of Pentatonix Christmas, which was released today. Looks like Disney is giving another shot with the Muppets. Earth to Ned features an alien Muppet interviewing celebrity guests. It'll air on their new streaming Disney Plus channel, that is. At some point after it launches on November 12th, Disney's last live-action Muppet show, The Muppets, aired for one season 4 years ago on ABC. Winds News Time 3:39.
Staples is more than a place you go to buy a printer. It's where an associate showed me the printer that works best for my business, like the all-new HP LaserJet Pro 400 printers with advanced wireless and security. And they're easy to set up. I need all of that. Right now at Staples, get up to $200 off the HP LaserJet Pro 400 series. The best printers at great prices. Staples, for your business tech and beyond. In-store only, ends 11/16/19. See associate or staples.com/HP400 series for details.
It's hard to imagine, but every day right here in our community, there are families living out of their cars. Parents skipping meals so their kids will have enough to eat. And folks who can't afford electricity, no matter how hot or cold it might be outside. But you can help your neighbors in need win these battles against poverty by giving to the Salvation Army, where your donation supports struggling families trying to stay afloat. Want to join this fight for good? Please visit GiveWestwood.org to make a donation.
Download the radio.com app and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 65 degrees. It is 3:40 on this Friday, October 25th. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. The MTA says it can't find where it came from, but a driver says subway track debris fell onto his car in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Cops looking into possible child abuse after a pair of twins ended up in the hospital after visiting with their father in the Bronx. Felicity Huffman gets her get-out-of-jail card, and Big Bird heads to Lincoln Center. We'll tell you why. Then Winds AccuWeather partly cloudy tonight, 53 degrees.
Crystal Presti, first World Series game in Washington, D.C. in 86 years as the Nationals host the Astros. Knicks and Nets renew their rivalry tonight in Brooklyn. Jets and Giants prepping for Week 8 road games.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kosky. The stock market remains higher as we head toward the bell. A little less than 20 minutes to go, and the Dow is up 168 points. The Nasdaq up 54.
Wins News Time 341. Now traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, let's go back to Brooklyn. Eastbound BQE getting up past McGinnis Boulevard. This is a wreck. You got the 2 lanes knocked out because of it, and you've got a standstill all the way on back to Tillery Street. Westbound side of the BQE bunched up too from Queens Boulevard all the way on out towards the area of Cadman Plaza. Other side of the East River, the FDR Drive, you got a whole lot of northbound company this afternoon from Waterside Plaza all the way on up pretty much to the George. Very little breathing room, and if you think the west side's going to be better, think again. Northbound west side loaded from the Intrepid pretty much all the way on up towards the George Washington Bridge. Welcome to Friday afternoon rush hour. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The inbound side of the George, no more than 10 to 15. Lincoln 35 in, 45 out. The worst of it off of 11, a little better elsewhere. Inbound side of the Holland, 20 to 30 from the Skyway, better from the Turnpike. Outbound Holland, we're looking at a solid 45 minutes. Whitestone, Bronxbound, Frogs Neck, Queensbound, to the citybound Midtown Tunnel, all some sort of slow. Traffic sponsored by Resorts World Casino NYC in Queens. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Resorts World Casino NYC in Queens by JFK. With 6,000 games, it's where New Yorkers play. It's how NYC rolls.
Earlier this week, a Queens man said a metal bolt crashed onto his car in Long Island City. Today, a woman says a similar thing happened to her in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
A day earlier, and Yasmin Fitzpatrick says her sunroof would have been open with her grandson inside, but luckily as she waited for the light on Myrtle at Broadway under old elevated tracks, it was closed when debris fell and shattered the glass Friday morning.
A bang, and the vehicle shook a little bit, and I was startled, so I'm looking around at people because I'm thinking it was an earthquake. I didn't know what the hell happened.
The Brooklyn resident says she's heard about it happening to others on the news, but never thought it could happen to her. MTA employees came out to inspect, but found nothing. Fitzpatrick says a street sweeper came by already. Meanwhile, she says she'll be changing her driving habits.
I'm going to do the best I can to stay underneath these things here as much as I'm able to, but I've used my GPS to get there. And this is the route that brought me.
Samantha Leapman, 1010 Wins in Bed-Stuy.
Well, in a statement, the MTA said it will continue to review the matter. The NYPD is investigating after a pair of 6-week-old twins were rushed to the hospital with broken bones. One has bleeding on the brain and may not survive. The Daily News says police are looking into whether their father beat them. That's after their mother said the injuries were suffered while in his care in the Bronx. So far, no arrests. Wins News Time 344.
During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Sales Event at Mercedes-Benz of Greenwich, get 1.99% financing and a 2-month payment credit.
Hi, this is Lou Leodori, General Manager. We have over 100 pre-owned vehicles ready for immediate delivery. Plus, come in and check out the all-new 2020 GLS available with captain's chairs.
Mercedes-Benz of Greenwich, where the relationship is everything. Financing available on select models with approved credit. 2-month payment credit up to $1,500. See dealer for details. Expires 10/31/19.
There's a common misconception amongst people turning 65 that all of their medical expenses will be covered by Medicare. Center's Plan for Healthy Living Medicare Advantage plans give seniors all the advantages of Medicare, plus incredible additional benefits, including comprehensive dental, hearing, and vision care. And some plans have no premiums, no deductibles, and zero copay for primary care visits. Joining is as easy as 123. Just call 1-877-CPHL-123.
Wins News Time 345. Now 1010 Wins Sports, sponsored by ENT and Allergy Associates in affiliation with Mount Sinai. From the WFAN Sports Desk, here's Chris Lopresti.
Susan, the wild card winning Nationals are now just 2 wins away from a World Series championship. Not what many expected, but here we are as the series shifts to Washington, D.C. The Nats up 2-0 on A.J. Hinch's Astros.
I understand that everybody wants the pressure put on us. That's great. We've responded great to pressure. I understand that they have a 2-0 lead. But I wonder what everybody will feel like if we can win Game 3.
Oh, we'll find out perhaps tonight as Hinch will send Zach Greinke to the mound, opposed by fellow right-hander Anibal Sanchez, first pitch at 8:07. Nets and Knicks get their first look at each other in Brooklyn, just the second game of the season for both. Rookie R.J. Barrett coming off a productive debut despite a Nick loss in San Antonio Wednesday.
Once you got on the court, it was way different than preseason. You know, just they said it's going to be another jump, another boost. And, so it was great.
Tip off tonight shortly after 7:30 with game coverage over on WFAN. Linebacker C.J. Mosley returned from a groin injury Monday night. Did not look healthy as the Jets got blown out by the Patriots. Well, now he's out Sunday against the Jaguars and could be done for the season. Injured reserve has not been ruled out for Mosley. Head coach Adam Gase said he'd have more on the linebacker after they get through this Jacksonville game. Meantime, Giants-Lions from Detroit this weekend. Saquon Barkley will play, but wideout Sterling Shepard out again with a concussion, and rookie corner Corey Ballantyne will miss the game as well. On ice, you got the Islanders going for a 6th straight win. They're in Ottawa to skate against the Senators. And you got the Coyotes visiting the Devils this evening at Prudential Center, 7 p.m. Start on the Devils Hockey Network on radio.com. Sports at 15 and 45 around the clock. Chris Lopresti, 1010 Wins Sports.
1010 Winds AccuWeather, partly to mostly cloudy tonight, down to 53 in town, 40s in the suburbs, then mixed clouds and sun tomorrow with a high of 63. We're at 65 in Central Park. Winds News Time 3:47. One actress out of jail, another hauled in. That's next.
The clinical affiliation between ENT and allergy and Mount Sinai is a true bridge connecting community and academic medicine.
Dr. Francisca Yao, otolaryngologist, ENT and Allergy Associates.
It enables patients to go from their local specialist to a world-class surgeon quickly and easily.
Dr. Satish Govindaraj, otolaryngologist, Mount Sinai Hospital.
So when you visit an ENT and allergy office,
and your doctor determines you need further treatment at Mount Sinai,
we transfer your medical records to them instantly.
And we schedule your appointment within 24 to 48 hours.
There are no calls for you to make, no emails to send.
You have enough on your mind already.
There's simply no faster, smoother, or better way to get the head and neck care you deserve.
We've helped more than 10,000 patients since 2007.
And we can help you, too.
For your same-day appointment at ENT and Allergy, call 1-855-ENTA-DOC or book online anytime.
Make sure you have the full team
on your side.
Winds News Time 3:48. Actress Felicity Huffman was released from prison in California today after serving a sentence for pleading guilty in the college admissions cheating scandal.
Huffman served fewer than the 14 days of her sentence because of a Bureau of Prisons policy allowing inmates out on a Friday if their release date is a Sunday. Huffman is now subjected to a year of supervised release, and she must also complete 250 hours of community service after she pleaded guilty to paying so her daughter's SAT answers would be corrected. Huffman told the court it was stupid and inflicted more damage with her daughter than she could have imagined.
Correspondent Aaron Katursky. Jane Fonda was arrested again. This was not unexpected. The actress and activist has vowed to get herself arrested every Friday as part of a series of climate change protests in D.C. outside the Capitol building. Today, actor Ted Danson was with her. He, too, was cuffed. Fonda is calling these Fire Drill Fridays. In Baltimore, the funeral was today for longtime Maryland Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings at the New Psalmist Baptist Church. Among the speakers, former President Barack Obama, who talked about the time he met Cummings' mother.
She told me she prayed for me every day, and I knew it was true, and I felt better for it. Sometimes people say they're praying for you, and you don't know. They might be praying about you, but you don't know if they're praying for you.
Also among the speakers, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
And as we know from the Old Testament, there is a tradition to leave a seat at the table for Elijah, who might show up. But our Elijah always made a seat at the table for others.
Cummings, a son of sharecroppers who served in Congress for more than 20 years, died last week at the age of 68. Yesterday, he became the first African-American lawmaker to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. More than half a dozen years later, some folks are still trying to build it back and say that program has done bupkis.
7 years after Sandy, Tarek Mustafa says his house is still in bad shape.
Most of the house was a lot of things broken. We fixed it in our money. Until now, we're broken. We have no money.
Contractors like Gary Kazaza were brought in to repair the shoddy work.
We agreed upon $37,000 2 years ago on emergency work. I still have not gotten paid.
Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis says there's no accountability.
We try to get a response from Build It Back. They tell us they're going to do something, they tell us they're going to get out there right away, and then they don't show up. We have to follow up and keep on top of them continuously.
She wants answers from the mayor. Juliette Papa, 1010 Wins on Staten Island.
Winds News Time 3:50. Big Bird, Elmo, and some of the other Sesame Street characters will be at Lincoln Center tonight and tomorrow for another celebration of the show's big 50th anniversary and for performances aimed at helping to introduce kids to jazz. Kenny Rampton will also be part of the show. He's a member of both the Jazz at Lincoln Center band and the Sesame Street band.
Music education
dear to my heart. So to be a member of both of these organizations that are so dedicated to kids and to education, number one, is just phenomenal. But to be able to connect the dots and bring them together to do a project together, it's just amazing. It's kind of surreal for me, honestly.
He says the shows will feature some new big band arrangements of many of your favorite Sesame Street songs. Wins News Time 351. From the Ram Trucks Traffic Center, here's Greg Ray.
Well, let's go right to what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. And we're going to go to the George, the inbound upper level. We're getting word of a wreck knocking out the right lane right around mid-span, so tack on an extra 10. The lower does better getting out of the city, though. There is no happy way home via the George. Welcome to Friday afternoon. Looking at the Lincoln Tunnel, about 45 in, at least 45 to 60 out off of 11. You'll do a little better elsewhere. Holland, 30 to 45 on the outbound, go 20 to 30 in from the Skyway, half that from the Turnpike. City-bound Midtown tunnels a mess. Whitestone's tough either way. Queens-bound Throgs Neck, that's the worst of that. Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge all bunched up. As bad as the Manhattan Bridge is, it's better. You've also got the Williamsburg and Battery tunnels as better bets. Verrazano upper-level Staten Island bound very, very slow. Traffic sponsored by the Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge. The Long Island Innovation Park at Hauppauge is the nation's second largest industrial park, home to more than 1,300 companies, economic output of $13 billion. The Long Island Innovation Park in Hauppauge, where business means innovation. Visit li-iph.org. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 WINS.
Now the 1010 WINS AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Samuel.
It's another mild day by October standards. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-60s. Our normal high today is just at 60. We'll see comfortable conditions into tonight. Staying partly to mostly cloudy out there with a low of 53 in the city. Dry weather to start your weekend. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 63, but clouds and rain arrive tomorrow night. Not looking at much in the way of rainfall tomorrow night, especially during the evening. Will likely be dry through midnight. Otherwise, that rain moving in overnight, becoming steady and heavy at times Sunday. The high temperature Sunday, 66. Drying out Monday, and early next week, it looks warmer. Temperatures well into the 60s. 65 degrees, partly sunny right now in Central Park. It's going down to 53 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's Dave Samuel on New York's weather station, 1010 WINS.
WINS News Time 3:53. Well, we have this just into the 1010 WINS newsroom. A judge has now ordered the Justice Department to give House Democrats secret grand jury testimony from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Democrats want the stuff that was redacted from the Mueller report as part of their ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Justice Department lawyers had argued at a hearing earlier this month that House Democrats already had sufficient evidence from the Mueller probe, including copies of summaries of FBI witness interviews. Russian operative Maria Butina was released from a federal prison in Florida today after serving an 18-month prison sentence. She was taken into custody by immigration authorities and is expected to be deported to Russia. The Russian national had used her activism with the National Rifle Association to infiltrate U.S. conservative political groups to push Russia's agenda. She denied she was part of a conspiracy, but did acknowledge that she should have registered as a foreign agent. Speaking at NATO headquarters today in Brussels, Defense Secretary Mark Esper outlined U.S. military policy in Syria going forward. He says the United States will leave more American troops and armored vehicles in eastern Syria to prevent Islamic State militants from gaining access to oil fields controlled now by Syrian Kurds. And he added,
I've spoken to the Turkish defense minister. He informs me that all the ISIS prisons in their area are under their control, and actually informed me that they've been able to recollect some of them. So that's good news.
Well, President Trump had previously called all U.S. forces out of Syria. That prompted a military invasion by Turkey against our Kurdish allies. They then reached out to the Russian-backed Syrian government for help. Last week, Russia and Turkey struck a deal to patrol northern Syria. WINS News Time 3:55. Something wicked and wonderful has come to Roundabout Theater Company. The new musical comedy Scotland, PA is a kick-ass party, raves the New York Times. With a killer classic rock score, it's deliciously dark and irresistibly irreverent. This show is laugh-out-loud funny, says the New York Times. A meaty new musical is born. Don't miss this hilarious New York Times critics pick. Scotland, PA through December 8th only. Get tickets at roundabouttheater.org.
Today's forecast, sunny skies, ocean breezes, and a stress level of 0. Your dream vacation is now closer than you think with our Cruise Norwegian Fly Free offer. Book with Norwegian Cruise Line and enjoy free air from New York, unlimited open bar, and more. Now nothing stands between you and destinations like the Caribbean, Europe, and the Bahamas. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or call 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Feel free. Ships ready to Bahamas, USA. Free airfare on select cruises for select gateways. Restrictions apply.
Now, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Larry Kofsky.
Stocks appear headed for a higher close and their third consecutive winning week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 162 points. The S&P 500 is up 12. The Nasdaq Composite is up almost 55. The for sale sign is up at the Trump International Hotel in Washington. Sources say the Trump Organization is considering a sale of the property. Real estate broker JLL is said to have reached out to potential buyers this week. The hotel could fetch more than $520 million. Sears reportedly has hired investment bankers to advise it on potential asset sales, including the Die Hard battery brand. The Wall Street Journal reports Transform Holdco, which owns the Sears and Kmart chains, has received inquiries from would-be buyers. It's been a rough day for VF Corporation. The owner of brands including Vans and the North Face is down 7% after it posted weaker than expected third quarter earnings and sales. Bloomberg Money Watch, 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Kofsky for 1010 Wins.
At Northwell Health, our team provides you with the highest quality care. That's why U.S. News & World Report recently named 6 of our hospitals among the very best in the nation. And what does it mean to be the best? It means we've been recognized for delivering top care in more than 30 specialties, from orthopedics and pediatrics to neurosciences and heart surgery. With Long Island Jewish Medical Center, North Shore University Hospital, Huntington Hospital, and Cohen Children's Medical Center on Long Island, Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, and Staten Island University Hospital. We're in the best hands, no matter where you live or what care you need. At Northwell, we're raising the standard of healthcare and providing greater access to world-class care for all. To learn more about our nationally ranked hospitals, visit northwell.edu/verybest. Northwell Health. Look north.
Hey, sports fans, it's football season. And the Radio.com app has you covered. Whether your favorite team is in your city or thousands of miles away, Radio.com has all your football coverage. And you'll also have access to sports shows like Jim Rome, The Absolute Right Call, Boomer and Gio, and so much more. Plus, you can stream every Clemson, LSU, Miami, and Notre Dame game. Listen to the football you want when you want. Radio.com on your desktop or download the free app now.
When it comes to keeping your small business's valuable information safe, Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can recommend tailored security solutions like servers, storage, networking. Plus, right now, get up to 45% off select business computers with Intel Core processors. Running your own small business is a big challenge, but with the right partner, it's a lot easier. To speak with an advisor today, call 877-BUY-DELL. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
Now this message, get $100 in free heating oil at petro.com.
WINS, WINS-HD, WAWHT3 New York.
A radio.com station.
Wins News Time 3:59. Here's your 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 53 degrees in the boroughs, 40s in many of the suburbs. Tomorrow, look for a mix of clouds and sun for your Saturday, the high 63. Clouding up tomorrow night, some late night rain mostly west of the city. The overnight low into Sunday, 55, and then on Sunday, cloudy, breezy, and a lot of rain. Rain that's going to be heavy at times, a late day high of 66. Monday looks good, partly to mostly sunny, 68. Looking ahead to Tuesday, sunshine giving way to clouds, and a high of 64. 62 now in Scarsdale, it's 67 in Morristown, 65 fair skies in Central Park, the humidity 56%, wind southwest at 8, gusting to 16 miles per hour. More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Emma Jimenez is our service aide, Walter Geis is the writer, Justin Traeger is at the editor's desk. I'm Susan Richard.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kofsky. There's the closing bell on a modestly higher day for stock. A little fade right at the close. The Dow ending with a gain of 147. The Nasdaq up 57.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 65 degrees, fair skies. It is 4 o'clock on a Friday, October 25th, 2019. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. In Bed-Stuy, a woman says, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a... Well, she says she doesn't know what the heck it was. It fell off a train trestle and crashed through the sunroof of her car today. The MTA now says, we don't know either. An investigation is underway. Almost a month later, police say they've recaptured a 20-year-old burglary suspect who slipped off from the cops in downtown Brooklyn as they led him into central booking. The question remains, though, Taekwon Ellison, where in the world have you been? President Trump, you might say, dissed and trolled by the Washington Nationals baseball club, who not only told him don't even think about tossing out the first pitch if there's a Game 5 in Washington, but we're also going to let one of your arch enemies do the honors. And a teenager who tried to break into Dale. You heard me right. Police say he scaled the wall to get up to the window of a cell where his ex is detained. Somebody say, yep, I knew it had to be a girl involved. Teenage love. It's Friday. Your afternoon news begins right now. AccuWeather says cloudy and mild. Get to a high of 65. 53 for a low tonight. And in sports,
this is Crystal Presti. World Series resumes tonight in D.C. The Nationals up 2-0 on the Astros. The banged-up Jets will be shorthanded against the Jaguars. Nets-Knicks tonight at Barclays Center.
Off we go to TGI Friday afternoon. Lens News Time 4:01 from your Ram Trucks Traffic Center now. Expanded traffic and transit for the commute. Good afternoon, Greg Wright.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mullins. It's not breaking into prison, but you got plenty of time to plan your next caper if you're sitting on the BQE in Brooklyn. Inbound Gowanus, eastbound BQE, it is a standstill from right off of the Belt Merge all the way on up towards McGinnis Boulevard. That is where a wreck has at least 2 lanes shut down, and all lanes are subject to closure getting into the area. That doesn't appear to be it in Brooklyn. It looks like we have trouble as we scan the jam cams on the inbound Gowanus itself, getting up towards the area of Fort Hamilton Parkway. So the Belt's got to be better, right? Kind of. The Belt Parkway is still sluggish westbound from Flatbush Avenue over to the Verrazano. Eastbound jammed up in some form or another from the bridge all the way back towards Erskine Street. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Getting worse getting on to the Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge because of a breakdown on the ramp from the FDR, knocking out the right lane. Inbound George is all right. None of the outbound approaches are any kind of nice. Lincoln 45 in or out, maybe worse off of 11th Holland. We're looking at 30 in from the Skyway, better from the Turnpike. Outbound Holland at least a 45-minute go. Whitestone, either way, Bronx-bound RFK, Queens-bound Throgs Neck, all some kind of slow, as are the city-bound Midtown Tunnel and the upper level of the Queensboro getting into Manhattan. Traffic sponsored by the Sound Inside on Broadway. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Mary Louise Parker back on Broadway and never better in The Sound Inside. The New York Times declares it a critic's pick, a gripping mystery. Mary Louise Parker will take your breath away. Hails Variety. The Sound Inside. Get tickets now.
Another day, another MTA team of inspectors headed to a neighborhood where something fell from an elevated subway and slammed into a person's car. We've been talking about this a lot lately, much of it in Queens near the elevated 7. But this latest incident happened in Bed-Stuy, where a lady says she had a close encounter with a UFO falling from an overhead track. It's where we began this Friday. No serious injuries reported, but this latest incident has people wondering, if this keeps on happening, how long will it be before our luck runs out? 1010 Wins reporter Samantha Liebman leading us home on this Friday.
Yasmin Fitzpatrick was on her way to work Friday morning when she heard a bang and her car shook as she waited for the light to change on Myrtle Avenue and Broadway. Someone tapped on her window to see if she was okay and told her something from the abandoned...
Let me start with Mahomes, the big star. Out this week, they let him come back to practice. First of all, it was a dislocated kneecap, not a dislocated knee, which is a completely different thing, we know. We went through that last week. Right. But he went back to practice this week, and then they ruled him out. How long do you think it will be till he can play?
1 week. I read that, he wasn't ruled out for Sunday, so he must know something I don't know.
He just was ruled out. He just was ruled out now. He was just ruled out for this Sunday, about an hour ago, according to the report.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. Not that he's at any great risk. He's at some risk, but he's not going to be himself. And I told you, he's going to become a pocket passer, which I don't know how well that's going to work for Patrick Mahomes. But moving around and moving even in and out of the box, he's got to get used to that. And yes, it is. I think it's a smart move that they wait him a week. But he probably could play if he had to. If this was the Super Bowl, I bet you'd see him out there. I think they're smart to keep him out.
Okay, so you think 1 week just to kind of let him get comfortable on his knee?
Oh, yeah, because his knee's going to be sore. His reaction time is going to be a little bit off. And one thing to know about a dislocated kneecap, the first time it happened with trauma, but it can happen if he pivots quickly or turns in the pocket quickly. And although it's his trail leg, I think they're smart to give him another week to get used to things.
Here's what Andy said. Andy said, in my mind, he just wasn't ready yet. This was my decision, not his. He wanted to play. I just want to give him a little bit of time.
Makes sense. Good decision. Makes good sense.
All right. Mosley is out this week. You said after he had the groin in week 1, be patient. They were patient. They waited 6 weeks, came back, had nothing. Now there's talk he's going to be put on the IR. What do you think happened here? He re-injured it?
Well, here's the thing, Mike, and for the listeners, I only go on information that's out of the public domain. Unfortunately, I'm worried that he had a different diagnosis and that he had a sports hernia.
Gotcha. They said he might have a different injury, Doc, so they did say that, yes.
Right. They're saying they're doing a deeper dive. That tells me, because linebackers and running backs are much more prone to sports hernias, and I think he might have had both going on, and this is just sitting underneath, or maybe it was a sports hernia all along. It can be tricky to diagnose, but that's my guess. This is something that a lot of hockey players get, as I told you, and people that have to shift side to side, they get groin stuff. I think he's got a sports hernia. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that he was going to have surgery for a sports hernia, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what it smells like.
Sounds like he's going to be out for the season. Doc, have you ever seen anything like this Kalichi-Osemele thing where a team disputes the guy's hurt and the guy leaves the team to go into an unexcused absence and goes up and has surgery on his torn labrum? He even says the team sent the wrong MRI to the doctor that he had for his second opinion. They admit they did make a mistake. They're fining him, and he went and had surgery.
The Jets are making a colossal mistake here, not just for this player, but for future. For the confidence of their players and to the NFL, and here is why. I'll give you just a quick example. We had one guy, Phil Simms, a great player. Phil had a torn meniscus. It was on the bar whether it could be repaired or maybe take it out. We gave him his options. He decided to take it part out. The rest was history, one of the best Super Bowls of all time. For him, the risk was worth it, and hopefully didn't have any trouble down the line. We had another player had the same injury. He said, hell, no way, repair it. I don't care how long I'm out. The player's entitled to that. So this fella, Mike, first of all, caveat emptor, which means buyer beware. Right. His history was that he didn't like playing hurt. He missed a full 20% of the games in his first 4 years despite being a first-team All-Pro. That's who he is. He left mid-season a couple of years ago to have back surgery in November. Yep. So this is a fellow who's just a different personality. He's entitled to that. So he has a torn labrum, and from what I read, he's got a cyst that can press on a nerve. It causes weakness. For an offensive lineman to lose all weakness, it's a big deal. He didn't want to continue on taking Torgo. He has every right to do that. Now, I don't know what games are being played, but you send a wrong message when you have players put us not as human beings that have discretion, but as just players. You can't force them to play through something they don't want to play through. That's a big mistake. Some guys can play hurt. We've talked about LT. We had, I told you how LT, partially tore his pec. He didn't miss a game. Most other guys in 3 or 4 games. They're both making okay decisions. One guy can play with it, the other guy can't. Respect both. This is a huge mistake by the Jets management. And I want to say something, Mike, which is going to be controversial, but, I understand you want your players out there, but you know what my feelings are on the quarterback, even though he's getting away from it. Right. Now you're pressuring a player who says it hurts too much to play with, and he's probably got some weakness. He has a short $64,000 deal. When you have this cyst, Mike, it presses a nerve behind your shoulder. That can cause permanent weakness. Don't want to risk that. Now, could he get through the season? Yes. Of all the patients I've operated on that has what he had, they haven't had a permanent injury. That doesn't mean he couldn't be first. He doesn't want to risk it. Respect that.
Doc, the Breeze is getting ready to come back. I don't know if he's going to come back yet this week or not. There's still some debate on whether he is or not. That they might wait a week. They're off next week. Do you see him having any problems with this thumb, or do you think he'll be fine when he comes back?
I think it all depends on how well he grips the ball. What happens is when you get this surgery, the thumb becomes kind of tight, and you lose a little bit of elasticity, which can change your grip on the ball. So what I'm talking about is performance, not safety here. He's 5.5 weeks. He's probably good to go. It's probably healed. But again, this is going to sound like a football guy. They're playing the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. 3-3-1. I'd probably start Bridgewater and keep him in reserve, but he's probably ready to play. He's not going to be any different from a safety standpoint between now and a month from now. It takes a number of months for the tissue to stretch back out to grip the ball normally. So the decision here depends upon how well you throw the ball and whether you want to wait an extra week for 6 weeks. Because 6 weeks is a gold standard for healing. We're just under that now.
Do you think, the other thing is this, do you think what Donald went through last week, which was almost disorientation, had anything to do with him being out as long as he was and with what was bothering him?
Not sure, Mike. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I wondered, because, you know, he looked good the first week back, and then last week, he kind of had a lot of, he kind of got to the point where, you know, he said he saw ghosts, and he didn't know, he was kind of disoriented during the game. He didn't seem to know exactly what the heck was going on during the game, to be honest with you.
Mike, I watched every player when Turris came back, he never got hit. He didn't get hit in the tummy, and that's a good thing. But I'm going to say another thing, Mike. The best coaches and the best managers, all they do is they say, tell me when he's ready. They don't try to play doctor. They don't try to push a guy into playing. They tell me who I have this week. I'm concerned that the management of the Jets are putting pressure. Yeah. I don't know if it's overt or covert, but what they did with this shoulder is wrong. And it's disrespecting the athlete when he shouldn't be disrespected. When you have this type of injury, you can lose strength. And as an offensive lineman, he notices it. They said, I read in the paper, and all I know is what I read, is that he was worried his job would be getting lost. Well, I can see that he's probably not playing well because he doesn't have the strength with this pain or weakness.
Yeah, if he's having an operation, he's got to be hurt. They're not going to operate on him if he's not hurt.
He's got a legitimate injury. Could he play through it? Some guys can, some guys can't. He's shown in his past he doesn't play well with injury, but when he's good, he's great. When he's all okay, he's great. Caveat emptor. You should have known this when he's at the guy.
Yeah, good point. Thanks, Doc. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike. Take care.
All right, Dr. Steve O'Brien, back after this.
Live from the Town Fair Tire Studio, it's Mike's On, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest discount tire dealer. We honor every manufacturer's rebate and all our competitors' rebates too. For the guaranteed lowest price, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Town Fair Tire.
Route 4 Paramus Hyundai is your SUV headquarters. Lease the new 2019 Hyundai Tucson Valley or the new 2020 Santa Fe SE, both with available no money down and 0% financing. 4 is always less. Visit go4hyundai.com. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
The Open Road Mazda Model Year-End Sales Event is on at our 2 convenient locations in East Brunswick and Morristown. Save thousands on over 500 2019 Mazdas in stock. Lease the all-wheel drive 2019 Mazda CX-5 Sport for only $169 a month. Hurry, these model year-end deals end soon. Visit Open Road Mazda of East Brunswick on Route 18 and Open Road Mazda of Morristown on Bridgedale Ave. Click shop, we deliver at openroadmazda.com. Due at 94,863. Call 877-72-1386 for details.
When William Hill started his own sports book in 1934, he didn't just use any name. He used his own. He wanted people to know that behind every bet there was a name you could count on. And 85 years later, when you're looking to bet during live games with in-play, bet with the trusted name in sports betting. William Hill, America's #1 sports book. Simply download the app or visit WilliamHill.com and use the promo code INPLAY for a special offer when you sign up. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Offer applies to courtesy courtesy vehicles with the parking with 3,000 miles since RX. Tax and registration includes 10,000 miles a year, 25 cents for each mile over.
You might have heard leases for a new 2019 Cadillac XT4 front-wheel drive premium luxury edition with an MSRP of $40,290 for $379 a month. But Paul Conte Cadillac can do even better. We'll add almost $9,000 in extra equipment and save you $20 a month too. It's the Paul Conte Cadillac difference. Our 2019 XT4 premium luxury edition is all-wheel drive and has an MSRP of $49,220 with
$9,500 in extra value and savings. Just take delivery from stock by October 31st at Paul Conte Cadillac on Sunrise Highway in Freeport. Just 30 miles required. Some minimum brand good exception available at your local brand.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In the mid-90s, I bought a piece of land with a credit card check and built the very first micro-distillery in the history of the state of Texas. Cheers! 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Tom Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With 96 stores from Connecticut to New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Discover the all-new men's store, now open at Macy's Herald Square. Come check out limited edition collections from iconic brands and newcomers arriving for men, like Scotch and Soda, Coach, and Paisley and Bray. Updated classics from Ellis, Fila, and Levi's. Plus, standout styles from INC Onyx, Corsac, and more. All here in our newly renovated 13,000 square foot space. Find the latest looks today at the new men's store, now open at Macy's Herald Square.
I was doing dishes and I had this pain. I couldn't put my foot on the floor.
When even the smallest tasks became painful, Vivian Scroca's doctor told her she needed back surgery. Fortunately, Dr. Andrew Kasdan had just joined the team at White Plains Hospital.
Yes! I don't have to go into the city.
He and his partner, Dr. Jared Brandoff, began planning Vivian's spine surgery together.
We were able to use new, minimally invasive techniques to make sure she was back in full activities within 2 weeks. She's very proud to say she walked 10 flights of steps today.
Now, Vivian can enjoy gardening and time with her grandkids again.
Oh my God, I don't have any pain. The care that I received was stellar. There's no place else that I would have gone.
Vivian's search for world-class spine surgery brought her back home. White Plains Hospital. Exceptional every day. Find your pain relief. Call 914-849-MyMD. That's 914-849-MYMD. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
If you don't dispose of the unused prescription drugs in your home, they could end up lost, stolen, or misused. DEA Take-Back Day is Saturday, October 26th. To find a collection site near you, visit DEATakeback.com.
From the 1010 Woods Traffic Center, I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol. Double trouble in Brooklyn. Inbound Gowanus, eastbound BQE. It is all one standstill pretty much from the Verrazano up towards McGinnis Boulevard because of a wreck with all lanes subject to closure. Westbound BQE, before the Williamsburg, you got a broken down pickup truck blocking the right lane and backing you up from Queens Boulevard. Inbound George 15 to the upper, 10 to the lower. No easy way out. Lincoln 45 in, 45 to 60 out. Holland 30 in from the Skyway, better from the Turnpike, 45 back out. Brooklyn down Brooklyn Bridge, the ramp from the FDR with a wreck in the right lane. And in Westchester, South Bend Hutch near Weaver Street, a crash in the left lane. Either way in Westchester, stay with the New England Thruway. Traffic sponsored by DEA Take-Back Day. I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol.
All right, we're back. We'll have Gary Danson in a couple minutes on some college football. We'll get some calls in. We'll get some NFL, all different stuff. And we'll get a little baseball as we get ready for Game 3 this evening. First World Series in Washington in a very, very long time. Have to go back to the days of Walter Johnson for a game in our nation's capital. Mike in Massapequa Park. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. What's going on? Thanks for taking a call.
Yeah, what's happening?
Very much. Two questions for you. Obviously, as a lifelong Giant fan, I mean, I hate to be the guy that's always complaining about the coach and management, but, I mean, Leon Sherman's a loser, and Gettleman is just a liar. Now, two-part question. How long do you think Mara is going to tolerate Shermer? I mean, he seems to be regressing as the weeks go on. I mean, he makes a lot of bonehead decisions and whatnot. And my second part of the question was, do you think that their fates with the Giants are tied together? Do you think as the one goes, so goes the other? Or do you think they'll be separate?
I think separate. I don't think they're tied together. I don't know the answer. First, I want to tell you that I don't know the answer. But I would say that their fates are not tied. I think Gettleman considers himself kind of separate in that he has a history not that he was in a position of power, he wasn't, but he had a history with the organization. So I think, and he's got a track record where at least on his watch, a team did go to the Super Bowl in Carolina. Now, a lot of players weren't happy with him. He got rid of guys he shouldn't have got rid of and stuff like that. But he did build a team that went to the Super Bowl, okay? Well, helped build a team that went to the Super Bowl. Sherman has no track record. I mean, his track record is awful. I mean, he's got a bad record everywhere he's been. He hasn't had any success. I understand this is only his second stop as a head coach, but you know what? He usually don't get three. Oh, he usually gets three shots if you're losing your first two. He lost in his first. He's losing in his second. He's got a woeful record. So I would think they're not tied, and I think Sherman's going to get to buy another year. I do not think the Giants are going to want to make a change again. I think that Gettleman and Sherman are going to be able to talk themselves into another year. I think that was a big part of the quarterback. Now, I think what happens here, though, is if this gets embarrassing and they don't beat the teams they have to beat on this schedule, or let's say the Cowboys come in there and embarrass them, and then the Jets beat them. I mean, that could really start to move it in a different direction. That sense of embarrassment could really, I'm telling you, that Jet-Giant game, which normally would be a game that would not be a blip on the radar, is going to have a big impact on the fate of these two coaches. Because if they're both in trouble, and the one that gets spiraling out of control by losing that game, especially if the game ever gets out of hand where somebody wins decisively, I think the loser could be in big trouble. The other owner's not going to like it. And the media's going to jump on it. Doug in Morristown, what's up, Doug?
Yeah, Mike. I have a quick question and a funny anecdote. Is anyone taking, do you know if he's taking any work at first base on Tampa? And the other thing was, I'm listening to this orthopedic guy that you bring on every week. And he is very different than I'm an intern. He's very different than the doctor you had in your hospital. I remember going in for 2 times at my shoulder operated on for dislocation. Didn't work. I went to the chairman there. And I followed Carl Bankson to the office. He had a broken ankle. And so the guy says to me, let me see if this will get your shoulder. And I said, wait, graduate of Mendeley School of Medicine? This guy was unbelievable. He said, I'm not going to dislocate my shoulder, so painful. He ended up fixing it, but he had no sense that this guy is 100% correct about that football player. And
Well, he was, first of all, he's been in special surgery for, 30 years. Secondly, he did the pros for 15 years. What he's saying about a player is, you cannot, if you're going to treat these players like they are not human. Tim, I understand they're frustrated by what's going on with the assembly, but if he's hurt, he's hurt. And Doc brought up the fact that he had a history of not playing hurt. And the Jets actually did send the wrong information to the doctor, which they admitted. And I don't know how they're getting away with fining a guy who's getting surgery. They're fining a guy for leaving the team. He wasn't excused, so we're fining him for conduct detrimental. And he's going to get surgery on a torn labrum. What he's doing right now defensively, I have not heard anything about what the Yankee plan is with him yet. And you heard me talk to Aaron about it yesterday. And he didn't commit to, Andujar, he didn't commit to Urshela. But Urshela is going to be, they don't look at Urshela as being a one-time wonder here. They really don't. Nick in Jersey, what's up, Nick?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Yes.
That's exactly why I was calling about Andujar. What are your thoughts on him playing second base?
Oh, God,
that
no.
way he's
not a second baseman.
He's in the lineup. Okay, I thought it was a shorter throw for him.
No, he's not a second baseman. Absolutely got no range. He's not a second baseman. No, he's not an infielder.
During the double play.
He's not an infielder.
I got you.
I think next year, I think LeMahieu will play second base next year, and I think Torres will play short. And if that doesn't happen, then your infield is over. The question is third base, because that means if that doesn't happen, and you went and got a shortstop, because you got two guys who are at third base, so your infield's done. Your infield. Now that they don't have hit, I think Dockman, but I think that maybe it brings Gardy back, the Hicks injury, for another year. Byron, Staten Island, what's up, Byron?
Hey, what's happening, Mike?
I think Gardy wants to come back anyway. I think Gardy might sign a one-year contract with the Yankees. What's up, Byron?
Nothing. The doc with the injuries, listen, this is a Sunlight thing. This thing is...
I don't see how the Jets win it. I don't know how the Jets win it when the guy went and had his surgery today on his torn labrum. I don't know how. He had a torn labrum, so I don't know how you could have said he should be in the lineup when he's got a torn labrum.
No, I get it. I'm not even worried about that. It's just the message that they're sending the rest of the players. You wonder how they're taking it in the locker room. And, the players stick with players. So,
Absolutely. Especially because that means you're telling a guy he should be in the lineup. You're also telling him he should be doing painkillers.
That's right. So this is probably not sitting well with his teammates, but just going forward with the team and the game this week. History, they're 1-4 in Jacksonville. Yeah. And this franchise...
Hard place to play. Yeah.
That's right. Whenever they play these big physical teams, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, they've never fared well. And matter of fact, 3 of the 4 losses in Jacksonville have been blowouts. So it'll be very interesting to see how they... honestly, Mike, this is the first time in, I can't even tell you how many years. I don't know what to expect. I just want to see Donald bounce back, and let's see, he get back on track. I want to see what Gase is going to do with this offense. And like I said, I'm going to just because I have no expectations.
A lot of rumors, Ira. I can tell you this, a lot of rumors that the Jets have put a lot of players on the block.
I told you weeks ago they said.
A lot of rumors. And I don't buy the Adams rumors. Okay? I've heard them, but I don't believe them. I don't think they're trading Adams. I've heard rumors. I've heard that teams have inquired about him, but I don't think they're trading him. Clearly, Williams is on the is on the block. Okay, you know that.
Of course.
They would give away. They would give the corner away. They would pay you to take him. But no one's going to take him. But there are...
tricky, Mike, because if you take him away, you still got nothing to work with.
No, he's also, he's being mentioned as a team. A couple of teams have called about him, so he's also been mentioned as being on the block.
And the scary part is, if he could get a third, or maybe could get bumped up to a 2 for Anderson, which I don't think they can.
That sounds too high. They only got a 2 for Sanu.
Right, so it's probably going to be a 4 or a 3, and you know what? I think they would take it, and they're going to put Sam in a worse position. But it's all about the future. Hey, I'm getting mixed messages, because I don't know how you're going to see progression and the development of a quarterback when you're looking to take away pieces that he has to work with.
Well, same thing with the Giants. If you're going to trade his left tackle, how's he supposed to finish the season?
That's right.
If you're going to trade his left tackle, what are you doing? You're gonna take a kid who's having trouble handling the pressure as it is, and you're gonna trade his left tackle. You don't have a better left tackle on the bench. If you did, he'd be playing.
Once again, like you said, we talked earlier in the week. This Giant Jet game, November 10th.
Big.
Oh my God, especially if we lose to the Jaguars and the Dolphins. Forget it.
Well, if you lose to the Giants, see, I look at it as you're probably coming off a win against the Dolphins, but God forbid you ever lose to the Dolphins. Listen, if you lose to the Dolphins, all of a sudden, Tua T comes into play. He comes into the mix. He does. I know that sounds crazy, but he does, because that guy he's going to be a special quarterback. And he's the first player at the top of the draft. There's other guys at the top of the draft, but if you don't take him on, then you got to trade the pick, because there are teams that will line up to get him. So you can't pass on him. The Jets would love to give away some of these defensive guys, but Leonard Williams is on the block. There's no question. They pay to take Trumaine Johnson. No one's going to touch him. There's not a chance in the world. Mosley might be going IR. So, and I don't believe the Adams stuff, though. I don't think Adams is being traded. Dave in Rockville Center, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's happening?
Mike, I enjoyed the Aaron Boone interview yesterday, and then Cashman was on. I just want to make a comment, and I'm hoping you agree with me, because I'd like to hear you expand on this. You know, I'm all for giving the other team credit, but, I mean, can we just hear a manager or an executive of a professional sports team, especially in baseball, can we just hear one time somebody say, the other team did a great job, they get all the credit. However, any players who are going to acquiesce that the other team is so much better and that they don't have any improvements to make, those are not the kind of players that we need. We need our guys who are paid professional baseball players. We have the talent on the New York Yankees. We have the talent to succeed in the postseason.
Well, he said that though. But he said that he thought his team was the equal of Houston.
Yeah, I know, but Mike, I'm talking about saying, you know what? We're not happy that we lost. The guys in the offseason need to figure out a way to perform better in the situations that are crucial in the postseason. They're paid professionals. I expect them to get better, and we're going to get better.
But you know what? Dave, he doesn't need to say that. Everyone knows that. I mean, everyone understands who went 0-4, who went 1-3. They do, and they know that, though.
Everything is getting credit. Everything is getting credit to the other team. I don't hear any critique.
Here's how there's a critique. When they make changes, that's the critique. When they don't bring a guy back, that's the critique.
You know, it's like they have the talent. They just need to practice doing things differently, or need to practice executing what they didn't execute. They need to work harder. You know.
Well, wait a second. Explain to me. What do you want them to execute? Yeah, how do you execute? Torres comes up with the bases loaded against Cole. What do you want Torres to? How do you want him to execute to hit the baseball?
You've had callers all the time. I'm going to repeat what they say. Swing at the first pitch in a key situation. They swung at so many first.
I'll take you right to the biggest at bats in this game. Sanchez first inning against Greinke, bases loaded, 2 out. What do you want him to do there? He struck out. What do you want him to do? You don't want him to strike out. That's exactly right. Torres, 1 out, bases loaded against Cole. Torres, your hottest hitter, bases loaded against Cole. What happened? He got struck out on a check swing.
I got 2 for you, Mike.
Well, wait a second. How do you want to execute that better, Dave? What do you want to do?
I'm just going to say
that. Those are the at-bats that cost you the series. Those are the at-bats.
Brett Gardner took the pitch and then he swung at the first.
But Brett Gardner hit it. Dave, come on. And Garcia struck out 12 times. You took him out and swung at the first pitch. Come on, please. Now, come on, have a clue. He struck out 12 times. You're worried about whether he swung at the first pitch once. At least that about he made contact. He swung at the first pitch. The other times he struck out 12 times in 18 at-bats. Listen, Gardner hit a ball with 2 guys on base that the right fielder made an incredible catch on. Gardner hit a ball that missed the foul pole by 3 inches. I mean, those at-bats change the game if they're different. Torres comes up with the base loaded 1 out, cannot call out of the game. He strikes out. And then Calcium strikes out right behind him. Sanchez first thing's got Greinke on the ropes in game 3. He had just walked Brett Gardner to walk in a run, and he strikes him out. You reverse those at-bats, you win the series. And right now, Houston's not making the plays they made against the Yankees. Against the Yankees, make every play. Against Washington, bases loaded, Bregman drops the ball, and all of a sudden 6 runs come in after that. John in Garden City, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike. It's funny. I heard you say the other day the building wasn't that busy. Game 5. I was right behind you.
There were a lot of empty seats in Game 5.
Legends more. Well, you were sitting Legends more than where I was.
Well, the whole row was empty where I was. The whole row was empty. For Game 4 and Game 3, the row was full. For Game 5, the row was completely empty.
Yeah, people thought it was a funeral. Best game of the season. I really enjoyed it.
Listen, it was good they won that game, and the fans got into it as the game went on. They weren't into it early. They got into it, which was good. But I really thought that, I saw a lot of empty seats, which surprised me, to be honest with you. And I tell you right now, to be honest, a lot of people told me they couldn't give tickets away for that game. That they had tickets, they couldn't get anybody to go to the game.
No, true enough, because I'm season tickets. I agreed. But I'll tell you something. This is a first guess. Game 2, I was away with my family for the weekend, watching on TV, and I'm watching Green, and I'm like, don't take this guy out. Please, just let him pitch until he's tired. We gotta go out of here 2-0. Of course, you know what happened. And then
the one thing about that second guess, did you also say that about Green before he gave up 2 huge 3-run homers in the rest of the series?
I gotta admit I did, because I was a big fan of Green. So
Green, and Green gave up 2 enormous 3-run home runs in that series. Not 1, but 2. I mean, Green's ERA in the series was 9. So the guys who are spewing about Green not coming out of the game, he had a rough series. All right, right now, going on Security Dodge in Amityville, it's a spectacular sales event. Take up to $14,000 off the MSRP on the select Ram trucks. Well, at least the all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Classic Quad Cab for just $159 a month, 42 months, no money down. Don't go someplace else for a good deal. Get to Security Dodge in Amityville for the best deal. Get a complete program details at 24/7 online at securitydodge.com during their Ram Power Days. Now, looking for plumbing and heating supply guy? Well, don't fumble away your time and money with other good places. Go to supplyhouse.com. Next day delivery, industry low prices, replacement parts you can't find anywhere else. Supplyhouse.com, your online supplier for plumbing, heating, and HVAC. Take it to the house. Supplyhouse.com. Now, this football season, check out the all-new Bobby V's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Stanford with over 200 HD TVs, 32 beers on draft, and an upscale yet affordable sports menu. Bobby V's is the place to go this football season. The new Bobby V's Restaurant and Sports Bar. You want to check it out on Atlantic Street, the destination crafted for all. Learn more at BobbyV'sRestaurant.com. That is BobbyV'sRestaurant.com. And we're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
On October 27th, all 4 major sports, football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, will be in action on the same day. This rare sports phenomenon is called the Sports Equinox, and it's as magical and rare as a unicorn hitting an inside-the-park home run. And this year, FanDuel is making the Sports Equinox even better. Play the FanDuel Sports Equinox free play on October 27th for your shot at least $270,000 in payouts. All you have to do is pick the winners of each of the 26 games on October 27th to play. Get 20 to learn. Age and residency restrictions apply. No purchase or wager necessary. Void where prohibited. Payout paid in non-withdrawal.
Zoom to make that happen. Video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere. Your mobile phone with Zoom.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. But sometimes the only way to solve the problem is to get on the horn and figure it out. So the only people I like talking to, Grainger. With knowledgeable product experts, ready with the answers to my toughest questions, calling Grainger is the one conversation I don't mind having. From machining and motor parts to valves and vacuum pumps. When it comes to solving my problems, Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Create a happier, healthier home with Marvin. Visit Marvin.com to see how Marvin Windows and Doors can bring fresh air and sunlight into your home. The CBS Sports Minute is brought to you by Winters Bros Waste Systems. Visit wintersbros.com.
This is Jim Rome with the CBS Sports Minute. I really did have high expectations for Washington and Minnesota last night for a number of reasons. First, it really was a revenge game for a number of guys. Adrian Peterson, Kirk Cousins, Case Keenum. In addition to that, we were getting a matchup of a couple of rather compelling teams. Follow me on this. The Vikings were supposed to look like a Super Bowl contender, and the Redskins were supposed to be one of the worst teams ever. This is why I committed 3+ hours of my life to see that. Unfortunately, I got none of the above. The Viking offense was supposed to light up the scoreboard, yet somehow Washington dragged Minnesota down to their level. Maybe I should give the Redskins some credit and question Minnesota. And if it sounds like I'm a touch salty, it's because I am, but no, it's got nothing to do with Minnesota not covering. I'm Jim Rome.
Hey, you're that famous actress. You must travel so much. What's the best site for hotels here? Hilton.com. No. One with crazy savings. Hilton.com. With their price match guarantee, if you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off. No, one with lots of options. Hilton.com has 16 times Hotel Hampton, Hilton Garden Inn, Waldorf Astoria. Hilton.com. You should totally do their commercial. Expect better. Expect Hilton. You're good. I know, thank you.
Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to PrilosecOTC.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started. Plus, 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to PrilosecOTC.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
1877 cars for kids.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and real estate donations.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using a Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris, with 0% financing and starting at $26,570, is just right. Mercedes-Benz, vans, born to run.
MSRP exclusive options tax applied to registration, transportation charge, and dealer price paid options. While availability launches, sale price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and trends. Only valid on 2018 to 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris van. Qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
We're back to Gary Danielson Report. It's brought to you by American Sportsbook and by H.L. Gross Jewelers, Long Island's leading purveyor of fine jewelry and diamonds. It is a big week in college football, very big week, including Gary's game, which is Auburn and LSU, which is the best game in terms of rankings. But there's a lot of very big storylines, and we got a lot to get to with Gary quick. Gary, welcome. How are you?
Hey, Mike, good to be back.
All right, let me get to some other stuff, and then we'll finish up with your game. Number one, to his injury, I know he's not playing this week. I know they gave him a surgery to relieve the stress on the high ankle sprain. Is this going to linger, or is he going to be okay?
I don't think anybody knows for sure. It seems to be, from reading and following some people, making phone calls, that it was not as severe as last year's injury. But remember, also last year, it did linger. And he was also dealing with a bad knee last year, too. So it's also not his plant foot, for his back. So it could be a little different. But these are not easy to get over. High ankle sprains, I had one coming out of high school. It was almost a 2-month injury for me when I was in high school. And I felt it all the way into basketball season. So the new procedure gives him more stability. I would think there's no way that Alabama plays this kid with his future ahead of him unless, the doctors have assured Dick and Tua that he's stable to go and ready to go. And I think he will play against LSU. I got a feeling that this was not as bad as last year. So I just wonder, will he be as mobile as before? That's the question.
Yeah, very big question, but we'll deal with that as the weeks progress. All right. Interesting games tomorrow. First, Notre Dame, Michigan. The rumors have started with Harbaugh. Harbaugh sent a letter to recruits saying he's being unfairly targeted. These stories about him going to the pros are not true. But they've already started, and they've started all over the place that he's going to leave for the pros. You knew that was going to happen with the losses. Do you think he's And what kind of ground do you think Michigan's on right now?
Listen, I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan. I always have been. I thought it was a great choice for Michigan to bring him back. I would be surprised that Jimmy would bail at this situation. I think he, loves the University of Michigan. He believes he can turn it around. I think he feels his team is playing a little bit better right now. They got off to a slow start. I'm going to say no. I'm actually, I thought had high hopes for Michigan's football team. I think they're going to be facing a good defense in Notre Dame. I saw them up close. They're very athletic, very good team. But I think Jimmy's going to ride this out. I think he believes it's his destiny to turn this program around. He's not going to give up on it. Doesn't seem like his style to say, I'm moving on, it didn't work. Doesn't seem to be it.
I think Notre Dame's the better team. I think the quarterback's better, and I think they don't have a great running game, but I think they're just a little more polished. I like the quarterback. He's a good college player. I think Notre Dame wins the game.
I don't. I think that this is the first team that Michigan's speed will be superior than Notre Dame. They've been outmatched with speed against Ohio State and Penn State. I think they were obviously overpowered by a Wisconsin team in that football game. I think this game they can stand toe-to-toe with Notre Dame, and they're just as fast, if not faster. I like Michigan in the game.
Okay, Wisconsin lost to Illinois last week, amazingly. Now they go against, and I'm going to say this right now they go against the best team in the country, which I think Ohio State is right now.
Well, I think everyone will be on your side of the argument if they manhandle Wisconsin. I mean, looking at who they played so far, no one has matched up. I don't know if you saw Wisconsin head coach Pat Fitzgerald after the game. He basically tipped his hat and said, they're too good for us. He's gone up a lot against a lot of good Ohio State teams. He says, I rebuilt Northwestern pretty well, but we could not handle them. So we have a good argument. I'm going to withhold it for, no one's been able to put any pressure on Justin Fields where he had to make third down throws that matter. Could Wisconsin force Justin Fields to make some throws that matter? That could be the only way that Wisconsin has a chance in the game.
Here's the upset alert. Penn State won last week against Michigan. Now they go to East Lansing. This is a very tough game this week. Penn State, very tough game.
They've lost 4 out of their last 5 games that they've traveled to East Lansing. You know how Coach Antonio will slow the game down, buck it up, play strong defense. I was a little surprised that it looked like watching that Penn State game that they had some deep balls and some fancy stuff, but they did not have what I thought, the ability to run the ball when they had to run the ball and put Michigan away. It seemed like they were able to flash, but not be able to pound. We'll see if that works in East Lansing. I do agree with you. I think that this is the season for Michigan State. I really do think this is how they save their season.
All right. We agree. I think Michigan State's going to play very tough in that game. Now to your game. Auburn, LSU. We all know how talented LSU is. We know how well they're playing offensively this year. Do you give Auburn a legitimate shot?
Send in the game. Like he did against, he could have kicked one because it's 10-plus yard shots down the right here. See the star on LSU's offense. The receivers in Joe Burrow, who may be the first quarterback taken in the draft. I see the stars playing for Auburn's defense, Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson. The question is, can Auburn's offense match up? That's the key to the game. They're not likely to hold them to 17, 20 points. And the question is, can LSU score in the 20s? That remains to be seen.
So is LSU, in your mind, are they as good as their record indicates? Are they legitimate? Yes. With Georgia's problems, in your mind, are they legitimately a top 3 team right now?
Absolutely. They could, on a given day, there's probably 6 teams that could beat anybody. LSU could win against any team. Things happen. You can lose games, but this team can line up. Talking to Ed Orgeron last year, going into these big games at the end of the year, he was nervous that things got out of hand, that they could get swept off the field by a team like Alabama, that they just couldn't compete. This year, instead of keeping a tight end and a running back in and throwing the ball and putting all the pressure on 1- and 2-man routes, They're spreading the field. They're throwing 5-man routes. And Joe Burrow really, I'm going to put it a little different way. It's not his Heisman to lose, but it's his Heisman he can win. He can win this thing very much like Kyler Murray. If he puts on a show tomorrow and goes into Alabama and wins that game, he can steal this Heisman, and nobody had his name at the beginning of the year. He's that good of a football player.
No chance, absolutely. You know, no one expected any offense out of LSU. You never do. You know they got great defenders. You know they got defenders all over the place, but you don't expect them to have any kind of offense, and now they've become a good offensive team. They got wide receivers. They can pass the ball. The quarterbacks played great, so now they're a balanced football team.
Well, it's so interesting, you know, the way college football is going. You know, the transfer of these quarterbacks, and we'll talk a little bit about it in the game. You know, it was all started by Russell Wilson. When he chose, oddly, to go to Wisconsin, when he did that, I wondered, why would a guy who's wanting to prove himself as a quarterback go to Wisconsin when that's an undervalued position at Wisconsin? The same with Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow leaves Ohio State to go to LSU, that's not a featured position. But Joe was so good. They changed it his first year a little bit, but he was so good his first year that they even opened it up more for him his second year. He's a breakout star. Yeah, a breakout star of college football.
You know, quietly, especially since the Carolina game, everyone has really downgraded Clemson. Do you think Clemson is going to just kind of sit in the weeds? They're still unbeaten. Yes, they could have easily lost the Carolina game. We know that. They didn't play well. They hadn't been playing well. Their superstar quarterback is having the sophomore jinx, blah, 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 blah. Do you think Clemson is as good as you thought they would be?
Yeah, I don't think they're as good. I think that, you know, one of the storylines here with Auburn is Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, their two defensive linemen, decided to come back for their senior year for Auburn. Both of them would have been drafted in the maybe late first round, second round. They both wanted to come back and improve their status. Both can go in the top 10 of the draft. A year ago, remember, it was Clemson's defensive line that came back to play an extra year when most of us in college football thought 3 of the 4 would turn pro. They came back, and I thought that was their difference, that they had 3 NFL players in the defensive line. I don't see that this year for their defense. That was a difference maker. A lot more pressure on the Clemson offense, and you may be right. People may be right. They're half bored. They can't quite get their attention because, you know, they're being favored by so much. But I don't think this team is quite as good as I thought they'd be, and I don't think they're as good as last year's team.
And how good do you think Oklahoma is?
That's an interesting question, Ken. Much like we talked about when someone put the pressure on Justin Fields, I still think that's the situation with Jalen Hurts.
Well, here he's saying that to lose his job to Tua and then have this resurgence is unbelievable.
Well, I think he'll be the sentimental favorite for the Heisman Trophy voters if he finishes it off the way with an undefeated season. It might not matter what anybody else does. He'll be the sentimental choice, especially with the injury to Tua now. It may be down to a couple guys how they finish this thing out. But, you know, it's a great story for college football. He almost, in both sides of the coin, he did what everybody is asking a lot of these athletes to do. Stick it out, you know, give your word. You signed at Alabama. Don't just jump the first time something goes wrong. So he does that. And, like, I know you remember this. Sometimes, as a quarterback, you just kind of have to get away from it for a year and sit down. Remember Jim Plunkett? He was a mess, and then he went to the Raiders and sat for a year and a half and became a... Well, that's what happened to Jalen. He kind of lost it back in 2017, and his best move was to sit back a year and not jump into another program, but just gain his confidence back. And slowly he did that at Alabama, and at the end of the year, he saved their football team in that SEC championship. I think his decision to give himself a little breathing room has paid off mightily for him.
And you said it best. We're talking about Gary Dennison. You said it best. Ever since he came back and made those plays after not complaining all year, he became a sentimental favorite. Everybody loves the kid. I mean, so everyone is rooting for him because he never said a word. Tua comes in and takes the job. He lives through
pressure of Tua in practice, because at the end of the year, the last 2 or 3 games, actually the last person that hung with Jalen Hurts was Nick Saban. There were a lot of whispers that the players wanted to change, the coordinator wanted to change. Nick hung as long as he could because it was almost like Jalen could feel the greatness of Tua behind him, and he lost confidence as a player. He regained it slowly but surely, and now you see what type of player this is. Remember, as a true freshman, he was the SEC offensive player of the year, and you're seeing what he's doing. And Lincoln Riley, by the way, deserves a ton of credit for shaping his team into what Tua does best.
And you think right now, 2 weeks from tomorrow, your game, 3:30, Alabama, LSU, 1-2 in the country. Right now, you think Tua, with the week off next week, the week off this week against Arkansas, you think he will play that game?
I'm betting he does. I'm betting even if he has to wrap it up, he played, injured a little bit. It's a gamble, everybody's going to second guess it if he goes in there and gets nicked again. But I think he's dying to play in this football game. 2 of the 3, 4 best quarterbacks in the country matching up with tremendous receivers and speed all over the field. We've been talking about the Alabama receivers all year, but these receivers, if you watch them all out, but skill-wise, surprised for this conference, it was one game that it felt like, part of it was the weather, and I think it just drew off Georgia, especially Jake Fromm. But, South Carolina has been playing better football. They've become more physical under Will Muschamp. We knew they would match up in the secondary with the young receivers for Georgia. I think the rain kind of leveled the playing field and tilted it maybe between the skill of Georgia and maybe a little bit less so of South Carolina, kind of evened it out and made it a great game. And just mistakes. You can't turn the ball over that many times and it ended up biting them.
And I'll tell you, down the road, looking down the road, and the way this week's Halloween, and before you know it, it'll be December. I hope Army enjoyed the last couple of years because with that Navy quarterback this year, it's going to be absolutely. This quarterback is unbelievable. This Perry is unbelievable. What a year he's having.
And it's what they were missing since Keenan Reynolds had left. They had young players at quarterback, and now it's going to be even. But, for us here at CBS, we've got a string of 3 games here. This one is going to be a tremendous football game. Next week we go 2 teams on the 5, Florida and Georgia. And then, of course, in 2 weeks, as we talked, we got LSU, Alabama. So this is going to be a heavyweight fight 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. I tell you, Georgia, Florida, the winner's still alive. The winner of the game is still in the mix, and that game's an elimination game. The world's largest cocktail party, as I like to call it. The world, great game, absolutely always a great game. And Florida has showed they're probably ready to play Georgia, right?
Well, this is interesting for this league. I believe that there's only one league in college football where their one-loss champion will get into playoffs. So whether that's Florida, Georgia, or one-loss or Alabama, if you're a one-loss team and you're in the SEC, you're in. For the rest of the conferences, you may get in, but it's not guaranteed. Now,
your name is Alabama. It's a lock.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be, if they don't win the championship, though, because I don't see how Clemson loses. You don't see how Ohio State loses. No. And it's going to be an upset if Oklahoma loses.
Right.
So you can't really undefeated team.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State doesn't even play any close games.
Well, they could have to face Wisconsin twice, or, I guess, an undefeated Minnesota Cooper team in the Big Ten Championship. So, I don't see, here's a good question for your listeners don't quite do this like we do down here, but I can't even name the second best team in the ACC.
No.
That could give Clemson a game this year. At first I thought it was Virginia, and you just kind of look at it as who could give them a game. I just think they're going to be there's a spot. It looks to me like Oklahoma's going to go on to beat at the spot, and it'd be hard pressed to have anybody think that they can beat any
going to be some great football, 3 weeks in a row, really exciting stuff, and highlighted, of course, by LSU, and I think LSU is going to win tomorrow. I think Auburn will play okay, but I think LSU is the better team, and I think it sets up the showdown in 2 weeks, which we all want to see. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy. We got it, Anderson, and again, the college football is very exciting right now. Really good games, and the SEC is just loaded. I mean, that's all there is to it. Auburn, LSU, and then you got obviously Georgia and Florida. I think the number one team in the country is actually Ohio State. I think they are right now they're the best team in the country. Again, week 2. I don't know who is in 2 weeks, whether he's in the lineup. He's not playing tomorrow against Arkansas. He's off next week, and then for the LSU game back after this.
WFAN and WFAN FM New York, a radio.com sports station. Live from the Town Fair Tire Studio, it's Mike's On, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Are your tires ready for the snow, ice, and freezing rain? Then head to Town Fair Tire and get a grip on new winter with a new set of fresh Town Fair tires at the guaranteed lowest price you'll find anywhere. Town Fair Tire is the largest discount tire. Nobody sells them for less. For the guaranteed lowest price on Bridgestone tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Hi, this is Blaze with Circle Hyundai. And we're going old school pricing. Buy a 2020 Hyundai Elantra SE for $17,000, which is the MSRP back in 2010. It's not old school pricing we include. VPH strap to recommend bets for autographs and photos. Remember, old school pricing on the new 2020 Hyundai Elantra SE and old school customers at Circle Hyundai. We're off exit 109 on the Garden State Parkway or online at circlehyundai.com. When William Hill started his own sports book in 1934, he didn't just use any name, he used his own. He wanted people to know that behind every bet there was a name you could count on. And 85 years later, when you're looking to bet with the trusted name in sports betting, bet with William Hill, America's #1 sports book. Simply download the app or visit WilliamHill.com and use the promo code START to get $50 free cash when you bet it's over $50. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Weather report is sponsored by Dell. 65 degrees under mostly sunny skies, going down to 53 down in Central Park. Saturday mix of sun and clouds, high 65 again. Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can recommend tailored security solutions, including computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, and more. Call an advisor today at 877-BY-DELL. Today's forecast, sunny skies, ocean breezes, and stress level of 0. Your dream vacation is now closer than you think with our Cruise Norwegian Fly Free offer. Book the Norwegian Cruise Line and enjoy free air from New York, unlimited open bar, and more. Now nothing stands between you and destinations like the Caribbean, Europe, and the Bahamas. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or call 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Feel free. Ship furnishing office, US and free air travel cruises from select hotels. Restrictions apply.
I'm here with Dr. Glenn Gedrum, the medical director of trauma therapy at the John Thera Cancer Center at Hackensack University Medical Center. Dr. Gedrum, how has trauma therapy changed the treatment of cancer?
It has enabled us to minimize the margin that radiation oncologists use around the tumor, what we call our planning target volume. This in turn minimizes
with Dr. Gedrum and how he can treat your cancer with trauma therapy. Call his cell phone at 201-450-4263. That's 201-450-4263. He's happy to answer any questions that you may have about the treatment. To schedule an appointment, visit jtcancercenter.org. That's jtcancercenter.org. The John Thera Cancer Center at Hackensack University Medical Center, providing extraordinary care.
Infinity of Englewood, New Jersey is now open at 60 Rockwood Place, just off Route 4, minutes from the Meadowlands and George Washington Bridge. Celebrate the grand opening. Special Infinity lease and service offers. Call 1-800-NEW-INFINITY or online at infinityofenglewood.com.
So are you the type of guy that wants to look put together and doesn't want to spend hours shopping? I hear you. This is why there's Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes. Try new styles in the comfort
never mind everyone back. But I was thinking,
Wait, joking? That's not on the camera.
you got the field and show from the guy at 16 at the
Very
time.
quiet.
But the point is that the check through the sweat. You can't do that in the field.
Well, wait a second.
That's wrong overall.
We can't put in the draft. We didn't have a draft yet. You got to do something. And the idea is you can't do anything. You can't make a trade. You can't get better. You can't get better. You got to come into camp this way. You got to go into camp with the same holes that you come out of camp with. You can't elevate your status anywhere. Other teams do. How come the Pats can fix their problems in season? How come when the Pats need a player, they go get him every year? Pats need a wide receiver. What they do? They went and got Sanu. Watch, before Tuesday, they go and get a tight end. Just need offensive lineman. Have they tried to get one? Just needed a kick in the end of the season. The kicking situation was fine. They embarrassed themselves the first week with the kicking situation. He's been very quiet, like he's letting this whole thing just happen. And I guess his deal doesn't start till next year. Well, I haven't seen him. I don't even know he's here. See what's up there.
Right, folks, you think like, well, I was right now, and that's the analogy yet, correct? Okay, there's three guys out there.
That's not unusual, though. That's not unusual.
You got that right.
No, it's not that guys out there in the World Series for them. I mean, there was no rush to hire someone. They have like 5 guys who want any one of them was going to take the job.
I got 3 of them, and one of them I'm surprised nobody talked about. You think Wally Backman's still in?
Wally Backman's not getting the name. Come on now. Are you serious?
Yeah, his name's been thrown out here 2 times.
Really? Where do you think Wally was a candidate for the Met job this year?
Well, I know he was my elite coach for years.
Do you think Wally, let me ask you again, do you think Wally was a candidate for the Met job this year?
Probably not, but my other 2 would be Buck Solo.
Gotcha. He wasn't a candidate either. Who's the third one?
Buck Solo and Estrada, the bench coach.
Yeah, well, he didn't get the job either, so you're 0 for 3, but that's okay. I mean, he would have been a legitimate candidate, so would Buck. Wally's not getting the job. And we all know why, but that's, Wally's a good baseball man, but, there's other issues that have a little bit held him back. As far as Buck, they didn't want someone like Buck is. They didn't want someone with Buck's, characteristics, which means Buck, but listen, you're not going to make the lineup for Buck. Let's be honest, okay? If Buck's here, he's in charge. Case closed. If you're going to hire Buck Showalter, you're going to get out of his way and let him run the organization. That's who Buck is. To say anything else is silly. Let's be honest, okay? Buck is a baseball guy who's a deep thinker who wants to run everything in the organization. That's his way. David Westchester, what's up, Dave?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? I'm just going to talk about Boone and Cashman and Mike. The Yankees lost because he didn't hit in the key spot. They just struck out.
We just usually the way.
I mean, they like too many mound base. And then I think that some callers the other day have some credence. You don't think it at all, but
which is what?
I mean, Cashman, he did put together the team into the 2009, but you want to give him credit. I give him credit for 0. The core 4 has been with him the whole time. This is his conglomeration. Every single person on the team is because of him. Okay, he put together a team of guys that you like. All home run hitters, with a good interception of a few, and they're all trying to hit the ball to China. Okay, except for Lemieux. I mean, what are you?
The
only guy that came.
He didn't make a trade for Torres.
Oh, what Torres doing? Things was a little on the fight.
Oh, Torres was bad, Dave. I got it. Torres was bad in the playoffs. I got it. Okay, yeah. The Yankee team never blew a playoff series, ever. And I was at a couple of games they blew. They won a lot, but I was at a couple of games they blew. So I got it. Cashman gets credit, doesn't get any credit for LeMahieu, and he doesn't get credit for Torres. And Torres did nothing. He's bad. out against Cole, but you know, it's the way it goes. Listen, you don't get to the World Series, then you take a hit. It's the way it works. Astros might not win a World Series, it looks like. You want to fire that coach then? We'll fire that general manager? They won 107 games this year. Anthony in Middletown, what's up, Anthony?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's up?
Just real quick on Girardi and the Mets. I don't think it really had to do with the Yankees, because why would the Wilpons approve Cano being the face of the Mets for the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, Cano has been on the... First of all, Cano's a player. There's a big difference with a player. Plus, he's been on the Seattle Mariners for years.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. But also, real quick question about Ozzie Smith, ran into this.
About Ozzie Smith?
Yeah, so would he fit into today's game? Would he be able to start any kind of a team in today's game, or is that kind of guy out of the loop?
He'd be a star.
He'd be a star? Ozzie Smith be a star?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a great baseball player. He's a great fielder.
But my point is, would these clubs even consider like that kind of skill set?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Ozzie Smith in a heartbeat.
You answered my question. I thought like I should.
In a heartbeat. I mean, come on, a guy who plays shortstop like that, you find a home for him. And he became a decent offensive player as the years went on. He wasn't early on, but yeah, a guy like that who could play shortstop like that. Ozzie Smith of this scale, and guys like that, of course, there's always going to be room for guys like that. Rick in Florida, what's up, Rick?
Hey, Mike, how are you? Real quick, 2 questions. One, I know you've said time and time again that, one player, you can't guarantee that anything in the postseason, with a player. So, I mean, about signing different guys. But with that said, going forward with the Yankees with pitching, Cole and Baumgartner, because Baumgartner is available as well, and we know, and I know you're not.
I don't know that he wants to. I have no idea whether he wants to play in New York or not, though. I have no idea. So I'll have to wait to see. I think that's the closest thing to a player that can make a difference. You know what? Until he doesn't make a difference. I mean, that's basically it. You're going to go in and hope that he is still the same player in the postseason that he's been in the other. Not build a team. I heard it. And a lot of, I don't know. No one knew if Aaron Boone was going to be a bad. Jersey, what's up, Jim?
Hey, Mike, how you doing? First time, long time.
What's happening?
Listen, I just want to know when you're going to start banning people who call in and say Brian Cashman should be fired. I mean, could there be a more...
Well, I don't mind someone. They're allowed to have any opinion they want. That's okay. I mean, they're allowed to have an opinion. It's okay.
That opinion is wrong, man.
The Yankees haven't won in a long time, so the fans are frustrated.
I have Mets fans friends who would kill for Brian Cashman.
The Yankees and the Mets are not the same team, though. I think you know that.
And I think Brian Cashman don't have a lot to do with that.
So you're telling me that if Brian Cashman went to the Mets, they'd be the dominant team and the Yankees wouldn't? I don't think that's true.
That's a good point, but maybe in a little while, make some moves. I
don't think it's about the gentleman. I don't think the Yankees win because of Cashman. I think Cashman is a solid general manager. He's not unbelievable. He's not like otherworldly, but he's solid. And he does a solid job, and I think he's a positive, not a negative, but I don't think the Yankees win because of him, and the Yankees would win no matter whom their general manager was. They'd win no matter who their manager was. The difference is getting over the top, and that comes down. It's not to do that, okay? If they don't, they're not going to win. That's what it comes down to. The Yankees are trailing 5-2 in 2003 in the 7th game. Do you think the manager did anything that got them to 5-5? You know what he did? He clapped. Jeter started off with a line drive that Trout Nixon took a step in, blowing over his head. I'm not sure if Trout would have caught it or not, but it's borderline. But the bottom line is he hits a nice hard ball to right field, goes for a double. Here comes Bernie Lamb. Tell Bernie Lamb, did they do something special? Did they hit and run? Did they bunt? Did they do it? No, Bernie hit a line drive, base hit the center field on a 1-2 pitch. And now the Yankees got a run and a runner on first. Here comes Matsui. What does he do? He hits a double down the right field line. Here comes Posada, hits a little bleeder in the center field. Now it's 5-5. What did the Mavs do? Nothing. What did the players do? Single, double, single.
It's hypothetical because this year's goal undefeated. I think he really is aiming for that. I think that burns him, that giant loss burns him more than anything.
I don't think there's even a prayer that this team goes undefeated, but go ahead.
Well, I think that's the goal of his. I'm not saying that there's
I don't know if it is or it isn't. I think he'd rather. I don't know if it is. I really don't know if it is or it isn't. But I think it's too hard to do. But go ahead. What's up?
I think his second goal is or maybe come to the Giants.
It's not coming to the Giants. It's not coming to the Giants. I don't think that's even remotely possible that he's coming to the Giants. I don't. He's play somewhere else. I really don't believe. Now, unless Tom asks for some outrageous amount of money, I think Belichick would be against giving it to him. But I don't think Tom's going to do that. I don't think Tom. I don't know that they'll retire together. I don't know how long Belichick's going to coach. I don't know. Would Belichick like to win one without Brady? I think he would. Yes. I think Walsh and Montana had that thing where it became a little bit of about which one was the chicken and which one was the egg. So that can happen. I've never seen any jealousy between I've never noticed any jealousy between Brady and Belichick, which is unusual, but I don't notice that it ever was there. Larry in Queens, what's up, buddy?
Michael, allow me to vent. I'm a Mets fan since '62.
Okay.
I had a hunch the Mets were going to screw this up like they've been the last 6-7 years. They're going to hire another schmo and hope that they can win. They let Girardi go up the turnpike. How could they do that, Michael?
Down the turnpike, not up the turnpike. Down the turnpike, not up the turnpike.
Okay.
Went south, not north.
Okay, they went, and that's where they're going, down.
Okay. That the manager changes the tables that dramatically. Not in baseball. Not in baseball. The Mets could still get a very competent manager. I don't know if they will or they won't. Like a lot of it will depend on if it's a first-year guy who is pitching coaches, who is bench coaches. I think that'll be very important.
Notre Dame and Michigan game. If your bet wins, we'll give you up to $200 in site credit. At FanDuel Sportsbook, there's plenty more to bet on, too. Not only do they offer spreads, over-unders, parlays, props, and round robins, and more, but FanDuel Sportsbook also has special promotions running every single day. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook has lightning-fast withdrawals. That means you can have your winnings in your pocket in as little as 24 hours. Sign up with the promo code WFAN. That's WFAN, and place a moneyline bet for the Notre Dame-Michigan game. If your bet wins, we'll give you up to $200 in site credit. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now or visit FanDuel.com/sportsbook to bet today. 21 and present in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Applies to first online wager only. Max $10 pregame moneyline wager. Limit one eligible wager. Site credit expires after 7 days. Terms apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're an entering freshman or transfer student, you're invited to a Dominican College undergraduate open house Saturday, October 26th. Learn about our degree and honors programs, academic and athletic scholarships, campus activities, residence life, and more. Register now at go.dc.edu. That's go.dc.edu. Or call 866-4DC-INFO and join the Dominican College open house Saturday, October 26th at 10 a.m. in the Hennessy Center. Dominican College, Orangeburg, New York. Achievement every day. Time for another Action Network Flash. On Sunday night, Kansas City hosts Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers' team is a 3.5-point favorite. Over 60% of the spread tickets and money are on Green Bay. For all the betting info, download the free Action Network app today.
Classic Subaru and Honda are celebrating Columbus Day all month long with savings on all new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Lease a new 2020 Outback for $229 a month for $39 a month, or a 220 Forester for $230 a month for 36 months. Take home a 2019 Impreza 2.0i for only $168 a month for 36 months, all with $19.95 down plus first month payment due at signing. Huge savings on the new Ascent, Legacy, Crosstech. Visit AscentSubaru.com. Offer expires 10/31/19. Subaru, the best selling all-wheel drive cars in the past 10 years.
We just taking it overnight to the casino. Wow, that's a
and plenty of dining options. The only place to play is Resorts World Casino in Queens, next to JFK Airport, about an hour from Penn Station and even closer from everywhere else. Resorts World Casino, New York City. It's on NYC Road. Is an individual and no other than
This portion of the program is brought to you by the Lincoln Kia Audio Group. See the full range of Land Rover and Range Rover models. About this at Land Rover Lightfield and Land Rover Mega. Sponsored by Tito's, America's original handmade craft vodka. All about it is about Tito's to the front of the big house and all that administration to send across your life to follow. You might have heard leases for a new 2019 Cadillac XT4 front-wheel drive premium luxury edition with an MSRP of $40,290 for $379 a month. The Alcante Cadillac can do even better. We'll have almost $9,000 in extra equipment and save you $20,000. It's the Alcante Cadillac Difference. Our 2019 XT4 premium luxury edition is all-wheel drive and has an MSRP of $49,220 with sun massaging seats, panoramic sunroof, lane assist, automatic braking, heated seats and steering wheel, and more. There's no knock. You get all this and much more for $20 a month less at only $359 a month for 36 months. That's over $9,500 in extra value and savings. Just take delivery from stock by October 31st and call Conte Cadillac on Sunrise Highway in Freeport. With a CBS Sports Minute. College football just found its next poster child for the definition of student athlete. Former Tennessee Volunteers defensive lineman Corey Vereen was in camp with the New England Patriots and played in the now-defunct Alliance for American Football, is declining the chance to continue his pro career in the soon-to-be-launched XFL because he can make more money using his computer science degree. Vereen works as a software developer for online development, electrical and electronic manufacturing in Knoxville. At the core of his decision is the newly revealed particulars of the non-quarterback guarantees within the XFL, which amount to roughly $27,000. Additional bonuses were thrown to the pros that the fans like better right now, but it's still less than the $70K plus on average that his day job gives him. Most athletes would kill for a chance to keep playing professionally, but for Vereen, this sounds like a simple financial decision. I'm Dickie Barber.
It's happening. Wherever plays are being made, tickets are being sold, and fans are lining up. ADP is designing a better way to work. With industry-leading HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll, more companies rely on ADP than any other HR partner to help step up their game. From small business to global enterprise. See how ADP can help you and your people achieve what you're working for at design.adp.com. ADP, always designing for people.
I never get sick. Never taken a sick day. I'm not going to let a little thing like 100-degree fever stop my business. You know what really makes me sick? Downtime. You know the cure to downtime? Grainger. With same-day pickup, next-day delivery options, and time-saving inventory solutions, Grainger keeps our facility running and fit as a fiddle. Some people go to the doctor. I go to America's trusted source for industrial supplies because Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention Infinity drivers, Infinity Hangover is celebrating the grand opening of the new ownership at 60 Rockwood Place. The all-new Infinity of Englewood is built for the Meadowlands and is either found on the 2000 new Infinity or online at infinityofenglewood.com.
It's in Traffic Center. I'm Greg Wright with the SupplyHouse.com. Van Highway with the Thermal Lotus on Staten Island. The westbound Staten Island Expressway over Bradley Avenue is westbound throughway back down. This time still back to an over in Arizona. Inbound Delanis, eastbound B3 still across 7th Avenue up towards Rice Avenue. Westbound B3 near Williamsburg. Looking at a broken down pickup truck blocking the right lane, jamming you up from Northern Boulevard. Inbound George, pretty good deal to the upper and lower. There's no easy way out. Lincoln's an hour in, outbound side. You are looking at least 45 to 60. Holland 30 in from the Skyway, but from the Turnpike, 45 to 60 on the outbound drive. It's fancy down the outside. October 27th, all four major sports, football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, will be in action on the same day. This rare sports phenomenon is called the sports equinox, and it's as magically rare as a unicorn hanging inside the park home run. And this year, FanDuel is making the sports equinox even better. Play the FanDuel Sports Equinox free play on October 27th for your shot at least 2 high. Get 3 more people with special sports equinox props. Today, one more time, that's
Right now, give me a chance to take us to the Pelicans on November 4th. Be the sixth caller at 866-540-WFAN. That's 866-540-9326. It's all from the phone. So it's nice for you to pick up some net tickets on that. Now it's $30 an hour. Don't take it for 14 months off the select 2019 Ram trucks. Going into the best deal. No money down. Leases on Ram, 1500 Dodge Durango, Jeep Compass, Grand Cherokee. Program details online at securitydogs.com. Security Dogs for the best deal there. Compensation days, the Dodge Power Downgrade, and the Ram Power Days. All lining up. Now, Brother Suppliers, who else comes in for so check it out right now. That's what we're looking for. We'll take a couple calls in as we approach. Allison Benazzo, what's up, man?
Hey, Mike. My question is, that was every week. Why? Why does it never change after it's on out
I like them a lot. I thought Zion was going to be a lot of hype and a lot. I think the Knicks broke a lot, but
I know your thoughts on Madison don't make much of a difference. I'm not
none of them really any defense. I think you can't say someone's going to win the pennant because they got a manager.
Well, I'm going to discuss you the Nets. Do you think someone like Girardi being a manager this last year that we just had would have made a difference? I think we would have made the playoffs if they had someone Girardi. And that's what I was looking forward to. Look at it.
I think it wouldn't be Girardi as their manager this year when they have gone to the postseason.
No.
Yes.
No, because I don't think you can tell me that Girardi would have made the difference between that closer being as bad as he was and
wasting your time and money. SupplyHouse.com, your online supplier for plumbing, heating, and HVAC. Take it to the house. SupplyHouse.com. I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com Fan Highway Patrol.
All right, we're back as we approach 6 o'clock here in New York, WFAN, AM and FM at 6 o'clock on this Football Friday. Get ready for a weekend of action. Get ready for Game 3 this evening as the Astros will try and jump back into the series with Greinke going up against Sanchez. And, you know, Sanchez, he's had his moments in the postseason. He has twice taken no-hitters to the fifth inning in postseason games in his career, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. I mean, you know, you don't think of him being able to do that, but that's not bad. I mean, he's done it on 2 different occasions. You know, his career postseason ERA is 2.57. And he's thrown 56 innings in the postseason. This year he's 1-0 with a 0.71 ERA and with a 0.63. I mean, so he's done a good job in the postseason. So Greinke goes to the mound tonight, and the Astros need to get a win, or we can start thinking about maybe one of the more surprising sweeps. We've had some surprising sweeps if you think through the years, but this would be a very, very surprising sweep if we had one, because the Astros were a very heavy favorite. Very heavy favorite for the series. They're going on right now. It's Jersey Dodge in Amityville. It's spectacular sales event. Ticket for 14 months off the MSRP on select Ram trucks. Release the all-new 2019 1500 Classic Quad Cab for only $159 a month for 42 months. No money down. Don't go someplace else for a good deal. Get to Security Dodge in Amityville for a great deal. Go there for their Ram Power Days. Rich and Tom, what's up, Rich?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's happening?
Mike, I've been going through this for 45 years with the Mets. They got rid of Seaver, 88, not just with Socia, but I had box seats and parking and Diamond Club passes. Got there a couple minutes late because of a car breakdown and didn't even have a parking spot. I had to park out on Northern Boulevard. 2000. How do you use your closer in a 9-3 game when you got 2 more games coming up? I mean, their bargain basement, their Filene bargain basement. They might as well just open up and show everybody. All the coats are downstairs because it's ridiculous. You let go of Joe Girardi, you're going to hire somebody with nothing, with no experience, who someday might be as good as Joe Girardi. Well, how about getting today's Joe Girardi? I mean, good heavens, their whole wants Joe Girardi. Everybody wants Joe Girardi. So they got 2 choices. They get Joe Girardi, and if he falls on his face, they can say to the fans, listen, we know what we're doing. But Joe Girardi's going to bring the business. Joe Girardi's going to win the division next year. Mark my words. You watch. They had talent. They underachieved. Joe Girardi's going to win the division next year. The Braves are going to be in second. Washington's going to fall. But the Mets, they're not going to fall too far because the Marlins are still around. What do you think?
We're already got the watch next year. We already got the yes already done. Neil and Fordham, you got the world champs if they win from the 3rd place next year. Neil and Fordham, what's up, Neil?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good, what's up?
So, I'm a Yankee fan, and honestly, the most frustrated I felt watching this postseason was with the pace of play. So, on that topic, I have a rule change I'd like to propose, but if you'll allow me, I'd like to give a little bit of background first.
No, and this is a bore. I mean, you're going to give us a whole dissertation on a rule change at 6 o'clock on a Friday night? I mean, can you do it quick? I mean, my God, a rule change? Go ahead.
Mike, I'm a 28-year-old male. I engage with the sport across the league, and I am about to jump ship because of how boring the sport is becoming. And I thought I had something productive to fix it. If you don't want
to... Go ahead. Let's hear it. I'm sure it's wonderful. Let's hear it. Go ahead.
I think they should expand the strike zone. And let me tell you why.
Oh, my God. That's it? Expand the strike zone. That's your answer?
That's right.
You want more strikeouts? You want more strikeouts?
That's obviously the simplistic way to look at it. But
how is that simplistic? If that's what you're going to get, is more strikeouts.
Well, what if what have we seen as teams have used analytics more in their strategy? What have they decided?
What is the purpose of this? Is the strikeout? More strikeouts are going to speed up the game?
No, not more strikeouts are going to speed up the game.
So what is the reason? Why are you expanding the strike zone? For what reason?
It would cause hitters to need to be more aggressive in their at-bats. We won't have to watch 6, 7, because if the quotient of strikeouts versus walks and home runs changes, and the direction from a strategy standpoint won't be take pitches, wait for your pitch. If you strike out, so what? Maybe you'll draw a walk or you'll get the perfect pitch. We know these are effective things with them. What will happen by expanding the strike zone is you'll actually see, you're right, in the short term, likely will see more strikeouts, but as teams have analyzed that data, they'll say, wait a second, these strikeouts are not being balanced out the same way as they are with on-base percentage.
What do you think that expanding the strike zone would expand the strike zone, and you think it's going to decrease strikeouts? I mean, come on, go back to the drawing board, please. Please, that can't be your answer. When baseball did not have a 300 hitter and was worried that they did not have any offense in the game, when they did not have it, they had one 300 hitter, they had 301 in the American League. You're the pitcher. What did baseball do? They lowered the mound and they curtailed the strike zone. They decreased it. They made the strike zone smaller to add offense. How do you think that making the strike zone bigger would be a positive offensively? Is utterly ridiculous. I mean, seriously, I need a break here for that one.
When Willie Hill started his own sports book in 1934, he didn't just use any name, he used his own. He wanted people to know that behind every bet there was a name you could count on. When you're looking to bet and feeling confident on multiple games, try a parlay and maximize your experience with the trusted name in sports betting. William Hill, America's #1 sports book. Simply download the app at WilliamHill.com and use the promo code parlay and get a special offer when you sign up. 21 plus items must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bruni and Campisi, serving Westchester, Fairfield, and Putnam counties, are your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning experts. This season, don't think twice and turn to a reliable ductless heat pump system that can handle a frigid northeast winter. Install a ductless heat pump system with full heating capacity to -17 degrees and for as low as $60 per month. Learn more at BruniandCampisi.com or call 914-250-5200. Call Bruni. Tap into your inner eagle and spread your wings. With Keeneland Traditional Lager, the bold, amber-colored, 190 years in the making, all-American brew. Brewed for good times, with classic flavor and delicious taste. Keeneland Traditional Lager is a true original. So plug in. Rock out. Take flight. Good to the last sip, good to the last call. What are you waiting for? Reach for the brew that was made with good times in mind. Tap into your inner eagle. Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. BG Games. Boston, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly. Acura TLX. Available super handling all-wheel drive enhances the driving experience through a series of advanced calculations, making micro-adjustments to apply the optimal torque distribution so you feel confident around every corner. But you don't need to understand the how, the feel it. Test drive the Acura TLX today. Acura, precision crafted performance. Visit your local Tri-Acura dealer or online at TriAcuraDealers.com. They say you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so here at Sean, we decided to sing about it. Sherman
way to go. With Sharpie, double flat. And the taste behind that Cheerios? Serious, you trying to tell me you love me?
Actually, it's reminding you that it can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
Wait, they can help lower cholesterol? I'm so focused on the sweet, tasty taste that I completely forgot. Now I'm done.
Learn more about making Honey Nut Cheerios as part of your heart-healthy lifestyle by picking up a box at your local grocery store.
Michigan are facing off, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving you the chance to get an even bigger win when you bet on the game. Sign up with the promo code WFAN and place a moneyline bet for the Notre Dame Michigan game. If your bet wins, we'll give you up to $200 in site credit. At FanDuel Sportsbook, there's plenty more to bet on too. Not only do they offer spreads, over-unders, parlays, props, and round robins and more, but FanDuel Sportsbook also has special promotions running every single day. Best of all, FanDuel Sportsbook has lightning fast withdrawals. That means you can have your winnings in your pocket in as little as 24 hours. Sign up with the promo code WFAN, that's WFAN, and place a $1 bet for the Notre Dame Michigan game. If your bet wins, we'll give you up to $200 in site credit. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now or visit FanDuel.com/sportsbook to bet today. 21 and present in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Applies to first online wager only. Max $10 pregame moneyline wager. Limit one eligible wager. Site credit expires after 7 days. Terms apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Blaze from Circle Hyundai. We're going to sports prior to 2020. Focus the launch for SE for $17,000, which was the MSRP. These are mostly sunny skies, going down to 53 tonight in Central Park. Saturday mix of sun and clouds, high 65 again. Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can recommend tailored security solutions, including computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, and more. Call an advisor today at 8775-DELL.
We don't have to wait months for the most wonderful time of year. It's happening right now. You got baseball, you have football, you have hockey, you have basketball, so you have everything in action. It means baseball for a couple more days. Does it get any better? Well, it can with DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, DraftKings is running a first touchdown score promotion. Bet on the first touchdown score in any primetime pro football game and get protected with your wager back if they scored any point in the game. That's sunshine. That's pretty good. Head to DraftKings.com/WFAN right now. For a limited time, all new and existing users can get a deposit bonus up to $500 plus. New users will sign up at DraftKings.com/WFAN. We'll get your first bet matched up to $200. Don't forget, that's DraftKings.com/WFAN. For all new and existing users to claim this special offer only at DraftKings. Make it rain. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey only. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER. I got the picks. I'll do those in a minute. But first, let me squeeze another call two in. Devon and Staten Island, what's up?
Hey, 3 quick questions for you. Number 1, how many more games do the Panthers go before possible talk of Cam Newton start happening? Number 2, for the Patriots. Is there any shot, and seeing how the AFC is with Mahomes possibly still being hurt, the shoulders not being that very good, is there any shot Bill Belichick might say, you know what, I'm going to take another shot at undefeated season?
Well, I don't think he's going to lose on purpose, so I think he's going to take a shot at it until he loses. Do I think they'll go undefeated or not? I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to win a championship. I don't think they're trying to go undefeated. I think going undefeated is very hard. It's very taxing. They have played a very easy schedule. Their win percentage of their teams they've played against so far is under 30%. So they have not played good teams yet. Now that's going to start to change in the struggle. Why? I think you got an undisciplined quarterback, undisciplined receivers, and a first-year coach who's never been above a position coach. That's a very tough chore. I think they've played like a team. They have much more talent than they've played to a 2-4. Much more talent. And I really, this is a big game this week. I could see them playing this game well this week. I really could. I could see them playing a good game against the Pats this week, and you're getting a bundle of points. I took them as an underdog when they played in Baltimore as a fairly big dog, and they won that game outright. I think they're erratic, but I think they could play well this week. I don't like a lot of games this week on the schedule. As a matter of fact, I like very few games on the schedule this week, but I'll make picks in a second. But I could see them playing well. I really could. I don't think they'll win, but I could see the game being fairly close. I could see them putting pressure on. I could see their big pass rusher putting pressure on Brady. I could see them making some big plays with their wide receivers. I just worry about Mayfield turning the ball over a bundle. I think that's the one thing you don't want to see is him turning the ball over a bundle. Sonny and Malvern, what's up, Sonny?
Hi, Mike. Thanks for making me the last call today. I appreciate it. You opened up the show.
You're the last caller because you're the last one up there. Let's go.
You made some legitimate points about the question mark of the coaches and the quarterbacks of the Giants and Jets going forward. Listen, I know you can fire owners, but you got to put them in the same boat. They've done a terrible job hiring the last couple of coaches. You know, Bowles, Gase, obviously a disaster with McAdoo, and now Sherman, which is a disgrace. Who do you think is in a better position going forward? What organization, the Jets or the Giants? Thanks, Mike.
It's a tough question. I would take the Giants just because of their history, but that's all I'd be going on. The Giants at least have a history of success. The Jets don't, although the Giants have lost their way completely. The Jets have never found their way. So I think I would take the Giants just based on, you know, the fact that I have more trust in the ownership of the Giants than I do the Jets, but I've lost some faith in their ability to pick people with what they've done recently. I think it's really been bad. I think they're both in a weird place. I really do. I don't think either one's going to change